Welcome back to the Mike Watch. I'm your host, Mike, with my other host, who's also named Mike, and we're here to bring some sort of recollection of movie things that we have stored in our brain thing. That's it. That's all.
Very, very expertly put.
We're simple men. We're simple men. We just want one thing. We want peace and love. We want peace and love. We want people to watch movies, and we want Epstein to not kill himself. That's what we want. That's it.
Peace in our time.
Peace in our time. Peace in our time. Or actually, we're not even gonna. That's it. We're talking about Endgame and Infinity War now. we were gonna talk about Captain Marvel first, but now we're talking about Endgame and Infinity War, which we already did an episode on. I don't know, last week and then 3 months before that. So we're talking about it again. So Mike,
Yes.
so I wanted to watch it in one night, but my friend FaceTimed me, and then that pushed me back by like 2 hours. So I would have ended up finishing it by like 4 o'clock in the morning. And
Nice.
I had school. I had to be up for 6:30 the next day.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, maybe like I shouldn't do that probably, right?
Yeah, I'm probably not, but
Right. It's not really worth it just to watch a couple movies. So anyways, so I'm sitting there, Mike, and I'm watching Infinity War, and I had watched Civil War a couple weeks before that, and I can honestly say with confidence that Infinity War is Marvel's best movie by a long shot. I think it's one of those
I'd
movies
probably
that
agree.
honestly, I personally think that it exceeds the superhero. I don't know how to say it, but I feel like there's a bubble of action movies and superhero movies like where like for like standards of quality,
Hmm.
and I feel that it exceeds it. Like it goes into the actual film, like real cinema, whatever you want to call it,
Right, right.
standards. Like
Yeah,
it actually exceeds. You know what I mean?
right.
And I think same with Civil War. It just looks so for me to like it looks so fucking bland, that movie. That's my only problem with Civil War, honestly, is that how bland it is and how Baron Zemo's plan is like so thorough and like so detailed that like it's kind of laughable.
Well, I mean, it relies on like a lot of conveniences.
Right. Thanos is not
Um,
really.
no, because Thanos
Simple man.
in Infinity War, like he's
Piece in his time.
literally, this is what I want, this is what I'm doing to get it, and that's it.
And he doesn't he doesn't just he's not killing anybody for fun, really.
Yeah,
Anybody
he
who's
does.
any
He doesn't have to. He doesn't kill anybody unless he has to.
Yeah, like Loki he kills because that is kind of like it's more of a
Well, Loki tries to kill him, so it's like, of course,
that's
of course he's
true.
gonna kill
That's
him,
that's
right?
probably why he killed him. But I thought it was more of like a message to Thor because he knows that Thor is a threat.
Mhm.
Like there's a reason why Thor is chained up.
Yeah,
Like Hulk was he got the shit beat out of him and that was it. Because like he didn't have to chain up Hulk because he's gonna fucking. Also Thor or Thanos knows MMA apparently. Like Thanos like just started doing like actual fighting stuff, not like just like slugfest. He just like ended up doing like this fucking knee to the head and like
well, I mean, I would imagine that
starts parrying
he's
punches.
yeah, like I mean, I would imagine that he's a trained warrior,
UFC fighter.
like
I know, but it's just I like the idea of Thanos being a UFC fighter, just having like that level of skill where you could just go in the UFC and just fuck up some guys.
well, and it works too because Hulk just hits things. He's got
Right,
no no understanding of combat and skilled fighting. He just beats the shit out of things.
right,
So to
facts.
see him go up against Thanos, who actually knows what he's doing, of
Right.
course Thanos is gonna beat the shit out of him, right?
I remember when that Hulk and Thanos fight happened. Like that was nuts. We weren't expecting that early on. I wasn't expecting it. Also, most of Infinity War ever happened in Infinity War, I didn't expect it either. Like most of that movie, I just didn't expect. I don't know. I always bring this up, and I'm kind of just jumping all over the place right now. But uh, I never like. I thought the snap when they talk about Thanos wiping half the universe off the face of the earth, whatever it was, in the trailer when Gamora says it, like if he gets all the stones, He can wipe out half the universe. I thought it was just an Easter egg. I thought it was an Easter egg. I didn't think it was an actual thing that was gonna happen in the plot.
I thought that
Was that being stupid? I just thought it was. I thought it was an Easter egg.
I mean I figured that that's how the movie was gonna end, but I didn't
Right.
think they were gonna show the aftermath. You know what I mean? I thought they were gonna end on the snap, and then that was it. We were have to wait till the next movie to see what happened,
Mm.
which I'm glad they didn't, obviously, because that's stupid. But
I don't know why. I'm happy it didn't because my reaction when it happened was it'll be unmatched in any other movie that I see from
yeah,
now on.
it's
But
Infinity War is one of those movies that it's on a level than like the rest of than most of the MCU because it's movies like that, it's movies like Logan, it's movies like The Dark Knight that something about them like seems kind of real. You
right,
know what I mean? They have
yeah,
very real, um, like the
they're
characters being,
profound.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like especially like Thanos, but obviously being a CGI, literally an entire CGI character.
yeah,
Um, like for you to be able to sympathize with him and to be able to understand why he's doing what he's doing and to almost feel bad for him at some points in the movie.
yeah. And you kind of he's kind of right.
Yeah,
Like the thing about his
he
plan is
is
that he actually is kind of right.
right.
That if the planet was probably divided in like we probably are overpopulated a little bit, and we can sustain ourselves, but to really have like the full potential of like nature and
Hmm.
just human life on being
Yeah.
checked and
Hmm.
then being able to be unchecked actually almost after
Yeah.
um he's almost 100% right, but the psychopath part is him going about it in that way. And he's like, and Doctor Strange even says like, what, so you think mass genocide is the answer?
Hmm.
And he's like, random, poor and wealthy alike. And he kind of gives his reason why the genocide isn't that big of a deal.
Right.
But you know,
And then like
still kind of.
I guess people were like I remember after Avengers Endgame, people were all like, "Oh, well, like why is Thanos like different? Like nobody really like really care about him in Endgame." But that's not this time like this not this Thanos from this
Right.
that's 2013, the Guardian
Yeah.
of the Galaxy Thanos. That's a
Right.
totally different like he's come so far since that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's he doesn't have the same mentality.
Right.
And like people also forget, like he saw what happens to him in the
Yeah.
future. So
He
obviously he's gonna want to go and kill them before they kill him.
he has
Like
he has a different mindset like approach to everything now. It's more of like it's less it's okay, it's obviously less uh, the idea that like the idea alone that half the universe should be wiped out to save the rest of the other half
mhm,
is it like that idea is an interesting idea. The idea that he wants to destroy everybody and the universe and build it back up from from scratch
right.
is just not as interesting. That's just like, and it's hard to compete with that other concept for a villain.
Hmm.
But I do enjoy it when he's talking to them and he's like, so obviously that plan, it's flawed
Yeah.
because you guys, he says that like as long as there's people who know whatever, like there are people who can't forget, then
Yeah.
it can never be fully completed that plan. So
Right.
I'm gonna kill everybody instead.
Right. Because
That's
now in this movie that he realizes that.
right.
You know what I mean? Like he realizes wiping out half of them didn't matter because they still found a way back to try to reverse it.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it. And I still like it. I don't think he's obviously not going to be as good as Infinity War. Like that's literally his movie.
Hmm.
That's the Thanos movie.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And
It's even
Endgame.
better too because he wins in Infinity War. Like
Right.
we've
Right.
never seen a movie really where the villain wins in such a important way. You know what I mean?
Especially in the MCU.
Yeah, like
You know what I mean?
usually the Marvel villains are just a one off, and then they're in one movie, and then see you later. But
Like what's the exception? Like Ronan gets back in Captain Marvel.
yeah, but it
Loki.
doesn't do anything in Captain
Right.
Marvel.
Right. Loki,
Loki was different because he was,
Loki,
yeah.
and then
He kind of annoyed me though. Like till
Ultron should have been back already, but he hasn't been.
I don't
Um,
think they're not gonna bring him back.
it's so annoying. They should. They have no reason
It's
not to. They have no reason not to, in my
I
opinion.
I mean I want them to, but I don't think they will.
It would have worked in WandaVision. We'll talk about that later, but it would have worked if it was. Because now, okay, we'll save that for later. But uh, when it comes to Infinity War, like those IMAX cameras did them solid.
Yeah,
It did them a
hundred
real
percent.
solid, especially for those action scenes.
Yeah,
I mean, they look so fucking incredible, like so good. And especially, I'm not sure who shot Infinity War, but whoever shot Infinity War, you are amazing. You're a great person. You're a good dude. Like that movie, like that really tickled my balls in terms of just like cinematography and color palettes and everything in that for that
yeah,
matter. Lighting, like just it looks great. It just looks so good.
yeah,
Especially I think my favorite scene, like look wise, is the scene on Nowhere. I think it looks incredible. Like incredible.
yeah.
Um and maybe the scene on in the soul world, that stuff looks great. Vormir looks great. Like looks kind of great in some shots. Um, let me see. I mean, even the stuff on Titan looks cool. It
I
looks
love the stuff on
interesting.
Titan. Yeah.
The whole Titan sequence. I want to watch that uncut one day.
Hmm.
I want to find that on YouTube because if that's a thing, or I'll just fucking make it myself. But uh, it's so tight.
I
It's so
do
tight that stuff.
I do like how they kind of
Not a minute is wasted on Titan on those scenes. Not a minute is wasted. Not a
oh
second is wasted.
no, not at all. Every second of it is fucking top notch.
Right.
I like how they kind of blended the two fight scenes. So like while these guys are fighting Thanos on Titan, the rest of them are in Wakanda fighting off that for those fucking six armed fucking things.
Yeah.
Um, but man, my one of my favorite scenes in Infinity War has got to be when Doctor Strange fucking when he's going like one on one against Thanos and he fucking
So sick.
oh it's unreal.
The thing about that scene though, I kind of wish it was longer. Kind of
I do
wish they
too.
fought. I wish they fought a little longer there. Like just give him an extra like 30 seconds or something like that. And I
I
feel like it
just
just
I want to see more of Doctor Strange. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm really yeah.
He
I,
has so many like he's so many. He's one of the greatest sorcerers in the
it's
universe.
kind of like Scarlet Witch where it's like their potential for what they can do as a hero and as a character is really
Yeah,
it's interesting because they're just it's just cool. I don't know why they made magic cool in the MCU. They really
yeah,
did.
yeah. But I'm glad that with Scarlet Witch, I'm glad she got WandaVision because her
Yeah.
not only did
Yeah.
her like her character needed that show because for her to only have been in the big team up movies,
Right. Would have been pretty
they
annoying.
give her a little bit of a story, but it's not.
I mean I think she with her whatever I think if you I think someone calculated the amount of actual screen time she has in the MCU before WandaVision. It's like less than 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Like it's ridiculous.
well, because and that's why I when Civil War came around, I was just like,
And she still has more development than I think Captain Marvel does.
yeah, you're right.
I think so. I'm more interested
Well,
in her
because they
character.
show you what she goes through in Age of Ultron, and even that's like a lot already.
Right.
You know what I mean? They give you the backstory that her parents were killed in that bombing or whatever, and then her brother dies at the end of that movie. So it's already like she's already, you know,
There's a lot of good story to tell with Scarlet Witch. We'll get more to that later, but
mm,
and even in Endgame, Scarlet Witch, like they the Russo brothers confirmed this, and I don't want to say I knew it when I watched it, but in Endgame when she has Thanos, if you don't think she's gonna kill him in that scene,
she was totally gonna kill him.
you're out to lunch, man. Like why do you think he calls the strike?
Hmm.
He's like, I'd rather just me kill myself with my own ship, or not kill myself, but hurt
Yeah,
myself in my army than die like this. Like
yeah,
She was going to rip him in pieces, like, and that would have been it. That's just it. Game over. Game over. Good
Yeah.
night.
Buonanotte.
Buonanotte. Buonanotte. It's over. See ya. Like, but he's at the pasta fresca. He's done. He's done for. I mean,
Yeah.
we see it. Like, and then the Russo brothers are like, yeah, she's the most powerful character in the MCU or whatever. And I'm not sure if they said that, but they basically said that she would
Well,
have killed Thanos.
yeah, they said that she was, and then Kevin Feige said that Captain Marvel is, and I'm like, don't give me that bullshit.
Yeah,
Fuck Captain Marvel.
he's the producer of Captain Marvel and every other movie in the MCU, so he's obviously going to say Captain Marvel. Like
He's a fucking
The Russo brothers are like, nah, man, no, it's Scarlet Witch.
like you use your fucking brain, like
She also is too OP, which is like the problem with that her movie, and we'll get to that later. And also Endgame, because in Endgame,
I hated her in Endgame. To be honest, to be quite honest,
I don't hate her in it. I just don't like her. I don't. I'm not. I just don't. There's not enough of her for me to hate her in Endgame.
she just like well, that's part of the reason. Like she didn't need to be in it. Only to be, she was only in it just at the end, just so she can come in, destroy the ship, and save everybody on the ground, and they can keep fighting. That's it.
Yeah.
Then guess what? Then she fights Thanos, and he fucking punches her out of the movie.
Gets her shit
See
rocked.
ya. Yeah. See ya. You know?
Also, this is my also other. This is my one problem with Thanos in Endgame. So Thanos with whatever 4 Infinity Stones can like barely beat, not barely, but has to struggle to beat or almost gets beaten by Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and like a bunch of space people who
Mhm.
like don't really have any power except for Mantis.
Yeah.
Um, and in Endgame, he has no Infinity Stones, and he just wipes the fucking floor with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
Well, because they didn't really have a plan. They just kind of started fighting. Like in Infinity War, they had a set plan of what they were going to do. Well, because when he
He has
knocks
four
them all
Infinity
back,
Stones.
no, but when he knocks them all back and he gets the glove back on, he fucks them all up.
Right, but I'm just saying like it doesn't even matter if he was if he was controlling himself in Infinity War, like if he was just trying to get them to not fight him more so he could just get the fucking stone. Like he's just trying to keep them at bay. Even if he's just doing that and the plan and everything in Endgame, there's no way that Captain America and Thor and Iron Man don't fucking kill him in my opinion.
Well, because you know what? It's I was saying this the other night when we were watching Captain Marvel. It's that fucking stupid thing where it's like, let's all go at the fucking person one on one instead of attacking them all as a group.
They did at first, and then like one person gets smacked off of him, and then another person gets smacked off of him,
Yeah, and then they
and then it's
keep
Iron
coming back
Man.
one at a time, and then
Right.
it's Thor, and then he fucks Thor up, and then it's Iron Man, and he fucking knocks him into a rock, and
Like
then
Thor had like they have Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and you're telling me he doesn't fucking kill Thanos?
yeah, it's annoying.
I think I that's my only nitpick really with Thanos in that movie. Which I mean, I have more with Endgame, but I mean like in just that movie at least.
Mhm.
Obviously, like a nitpick would be Captain America at the end. How does that work?
What?
How does Captain America work at how does that whole thing work if you're abiding by time travel rules in the in Endgame? How does old Cap come back? Like how does that work? Did he just sit and watch everything go down?
Yeah,
Is it, but that would have been the same Cap though that went back in time.
no, but it's like it's almost like there's two Captain Americas in the MCU. Like there's an old one who is totally out of the picture, but there's the
I
actual one.
in 2012,
Yeah,
you're saying old Captain America would have been just watching that.
yeah.
How does that work though? Because that Captain America in 2012 goes back in time.
No,
He's
but he doesn't go back in time until Endgame. So all that shit already happens. You know what I mean? Like he's still like his character is still like the Captain America, the one that we've seen in the MCU. But there's like the old Cap who is like not being seen because he's living his life. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. I don't get it. I don't understand how it works. I just
It's
don't understand
confusing. It's confusing.
it. If it's that Captain America, then in 2012, it's the same Cap. It's the same Captain America who goes back in time and is in 2012. It's the same person. It's the exact same person.
2012 to Avengers.
Yeah, in 20, I'm just using it as an example. It could be fucking 2018 as well. It could be Infinity War for all I give a fuck. I'm just saying that Captain America goes back is the same character that we see all throughout the MCU, right?
Yeah,
So when all that stuff is happening, then that would imply that Captain America had to watch all that stuff happen,
yeah.
unless he goes so far back in time. I does he? I mean,
Well, because he would have had to have gone back to the 40s, so he already would have been like really old. You know what I mean?
so maybe he doesn't even live through that stuff. Maybe he time travels back at like in the year like 2000 or whatever.
Yeah,
That's a
like
possibility.
right before he dies or something.
What do you mean?
But then I don't know because I saw a thing that in Falcon Winter Soldier that in the first episode we're going to be at Cap's funeral. I don't know
Okay.
if I don't know if that has any validity, but
I hope it doesn't. That was like Luch. Luch was talking to me about my brother was talking to me about WandaVision, the finale, and he's like, yeah, Doctor Strange is gonna be in the final episode. Like he was in the teaser for it, apparently.
I don't know no because some fucking channel put out a fake teaser, but they made the thumbnail look like it was a Marvel Studios one, and
Luch saw
everybody
it,
bought
and,
it.
and
Yeah,
Luch, yeah, Luch was like he's gonna be in it, and I'm
I
like,
saw the same one.
well,
Yeah,
why would you fucking tell me that? I'd rather wait and see him in it.
I don't know where people got that from. There that was never.
He should have been in it though, in my opinion as
He
well.
should have been, but there was I don't know where people like come up with these fucking rumors and they run with it. Like
And even the one with like the big cameo from like the like the Luke Skywalker cameo. Um,
I actually think it's so funny that they're fucking with us the whole time.
she never said that was gonna happen. They asked her if there's gonna be a Luke Skywalker cameo, and
Hmm.
she basically says like she didn't say yes.
Hmm.
She never said it was gonna happen. But it's the headlines that made it say that it was gonna happen.
Yeah,
So the media just ended up what the only one that actually messed with us was
it's
Paul
Paul
Bettany.
Bettany. Yeah,
That fucking prick, man.
that's so funny that he did that.
That I'm not sure. I don't think I posted my one. I did write a WandaVision review. I guess what it's done with Endgame and Infinity War now. Let's go right into WandaVision. Fuck it. Uh, we already have an Endgame and Infinity War episode. You want to check it out? Go check it out. It's probably
Yeah,
like
we talked about it for like 3 hours. So
yeah, we had a two-parter episode for that. Anyways, so WandaVision finale. We'll just get right into it. We'll
yep.
save Captain Marvel for the fucking later on. So WandaVision. First of all, what do you think of the show overall?
Um, overall, I feel like
Quick thoughts about it, I guess.
yeah, the I kind of liked the sitcom part of it at first.
Yeah.
I liked the first two episodes being in black and white
Right.
and like different aspect ratio. Um, I feel like as the episodes got like further and further along, I feel like they kind of strayed from it. Like the last 3 or 4 episodes, they kind of do it for like 2 minutes, and then the rest of it is like real time. Like, you know what I mean?
Which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but like, if you're gonna make a whole show based around like sitcoms, essentially, I thought they would have been more prominent. But
Yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't gonna be as like as when I started when we saw Sword, I'm like, okay, this is gonna end in some sort of like swords and it's we're gonna end in real time. Like we're gonna have to.
well, yeah, for
But
sure.
they did stray away more from it after like episode 6. It just kind of
Yeah, like
became
the
less relevant.
last, yeah, I think the last 2 or 3 episodes were,
Pretty much real time, which is fine, I guess, because it's kind of like one big third act, I guess. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
It is divided into 9 episodes, so it would make sense that the last 3 are kind of like the third act of the show. If that
Yeah,
makes any
yeah,
sense.
yeah, because it's almost like yeah, the first 3 episodes are the first, and then the middles, you know.
Yeah. So if that's maybe I'm just wrong, but that's how I looked at it, I guess.
If I mean if that's what they were going for, then it works. But
Right.
um,
So I did write a review for it. I didn't post it yet though. Uh, so I said the bold ideas they attempted were sort of interesting. Talking about the sitcom here, some solid entertainment was introduced during all of the sitcom scenes. The only problem it had was the actual execution of the comedy parts. The show's writing is extremely muddy. The comedy can be rough and it pulls its punches. On the other hand, the intimate romance scenes between Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen are phenomenal. Their dialogue are some of the most heart wrenching pieces that's come out of the MCU. Even the conversation between White Vision and Wanda's Vision has really intriguing dialogue. It's a shame that it's clouded by plot holes and underwhelming plot lines. I appreciate what the show attempts to do, but it just failed to stick the landing it so desperately needed to land. So basically, what I'm saying is, it is funny sometimes. It's not funny sometimes. The sitcom works sometimes. Doesn't always work. The sitcom part of it doesn't always work.
yeah, like
Um,
it's pretty hit or miss.
yeah, I think the show is it's consistently okay. The show that's what it is for me. There's not an actual bad episode. It's just consistently okay.
Right, right. Because it's not like see, I feel like why I liked the first two episodes so much was because like when you're kind of watching those episodes and like the way like some of the jokes they're making and you're like it's funny because it's like really stupid now, but like obviously back in the fucking 50s I'm sure it was funny.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? So that's it kind of makes you chuckle like in that way because it's like
Actually,
really cheesy.
the funniest part probably is probably Catherine Hahn.
Yeah. Oh,
She's probably
100%.
the funniest part of the sitcoms.
She actually I really liked her in the show actually.
I didn't like her as Agatha Harkness. I didn't like her. I didn't like when she became Agatha Harkness. I thought she was not that good. And then everything before that, I thought she was incredible.
She falls into the kind of the Marvel villain trap.
It becomes so boring to me. Like I
Yeah,
don't give a fuck
but
about her.
her motives are also really unclear because
Yeah, they are.
like
That's why the writing.
is she
Yeah.
trying to help Wanda or is she trying to kill her? Like you know what I mean? It's like you don't really know.
And I guess she's trying to dupe us by thinking. I think she wanted to just kill her.
Well, she was
Like
trying to take her powers,
yeah,
right?
she wanted the power, but she just wanted to kill her. Like she was gonna kill her as well.
Right.
Like that was part of her
Well,
plan.
the whole reason was because she thought that Wanda wasn't deserving of the abilities she had, so she was trying to take them from her.
Right, because well, which she's actually kind of right, by the way. Which is
Well, yeah,
I have a huge issue with this show, a huge issue, which is, and I guess it's just an MCU kind of regular degular thing they always do. Not really, kind of is, but when I say the show pulls its punches, there's very interesting stuff in the show that they can deal with, or potentially can deal with. Wanda's grief. They don't. I don't think they actually scratch the surface with Wanda's grief. They do talk about in episode 8 a lot, obviously.
I love. Yeah, that's the
But
episode where she goes back and shows her all her shit, right?
before that, it's practically not there. There's like a couple blips of it, and that's it. And it's like I know what they were trying to do, but let's deal with it. Like let's actually deal with it in the show. Let's not have like 1 second of it, and then the rest of it's like, "Hi, honey, the food's ready." Like you know what I mean? Like that.
Well, because
It's so lazy to me. It's
part of them attacking this whole grief thing is her being in this reality in the first place is her way of dealing with it. But I know what you're saying though, like to have her actually confront it rather than mask it with a reality. You know what I mean?
it's not even that. It's how there has to be more scenes of her if we see her actually grieving. Like of actually and I mean I guess the whole entire show is her technically grieving. But
Yeah.
like I don't want to have one episode like where we actually address the fact. Like the show needs to address it more. I feel like we have to have some there needed to be more stuff with it because I felt like the show is just it's just pulling its fucking punches. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I feel like they don't have to just the whole entire time has to be her having a sitcom to fucking mask it. You know what I mean? Like there's characters there.
But that was the point of the show, though.
I don't
That's the
think
thing.
I don't think it worked then. Maybe it didn't work for me then. Like I just
The point of it was for her to be dealing with all the shit that happened to her, putting it into a sitcom and masking it with a fake reality, right?
I understand. It's just I don't think that works. Like I don't think it works as good as for a whole entire TV show. You know what I mean? Like for how many what 30. So 1 hour. So we have. So what? We have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours,
Well,
five.
not
Oh,
even,
four.
because the episodes are like
Four.
40 minutes, so it's not even like.
We have almost 6 hours of content in the show. 5 hours of content. Let's say, give or take.
Yeah, because the first what the
And
first half of the season were
and you,
20-minute
in
episodes.
my opinion, you can't sustain that storyline for 5 hours and it be interesting all the way through. If they had just ditched the sitcom part for a little bit and had more interesting stuff, not just like Pietro, what are you doing here? Like it's a fucking red herring. Like if you remove Pietro from this show, if you remove him from the show,
Nothing
uh,
changes.
nothing changes. It's a red herring. Like for what reason? To piss off Marvel fans? Like I don't get it. Like what was the point of that? Like you had, and also they have a whole. How dumb are they? This is like the perfect chance to set up mutants. It. I thought I'm like they're writing this. They're writing. I thought they were trying to write mutants into the show when
They
they
will.
show. I thought they were into the show though, not into the MC. Like into
Oh,
the.
not into the show. No.
I thought they were doing that when they were setting up certain things. I'm like they're setting up mutants. Like this is what they're doing right now, aren't they? Like when Wanda when they say that Wanda had this ability before the Soul Stone, I'm like, she's a fucking mutant. You just confirmed it. Like, is that not confirming it to me? What was that then? She's always been magical. She was born magical, like mutants were in the X-Men. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which, well, I mean, they never explicitly said it yet. She still could be a mutant, but
Now, okay, how much can we pack into Doctor Strange and Multiverse? Like,
well,
how
I'm not
much?
saying it has to happen in Doctor Strange.
What's going to happen in the Eternals?
Well, whichever fucking movie she's in, I don't know, but
Doctor Strange. That's what she's confirmed to be in Doctor
no,
Strange
I know,
2.
but the thing is, in Doctor Strange, she's gonna be some kind of villain.
You think so?
Yeah,
She should have been. I mean, you think so?
she's fucking reading all that shit in the book. It's okay. So the thing is that the post credit scene in WandaVision, she's in her astral form or whatever, reading the Darkhold, that book.
Right.
She hears the voices of her kids.
Mm-hmm.
The theories that they're stuck in some kind of alternate reality.
Right.
So she's gonna have to roll through the multiverse to try to find them, but she's gonna be the one that pulls everything apart.
Oh.
And then
Okay.
Doctor Strange is gonna have to fix it.
Okay. What happened to the whole horror movie thing?
They're doing it.
Okay. I guess we'll see. Uh. Anyways, I just feel like, especially with the whole, she literally takes a city hostage, and like she's a horrible person in the show, and then
Mm.
fucking Monica Rambeau's like, they'll never understand what you went through. It's like, yeah, they don't need to because you just held them hostage for how many weeks?
Yeah. Bro, I do love that scene in the finale though, where everybody's like surrounding her in the street and they're like,
Yeah.
"We have your nightmares," and like when she all like chokes them out, I'm like, "Oh shit!" like,
Like they should have fucking gunned her down. Like they should have killed her and sliced her in half. Like I love Wanda. I love Scarlet Witch. She's a
yeah,
horrible.
she's a really shitty
She's
person
a
in this
horrible
show.
person in the show, and they don't really address that. Like they just kind of like it's just like it ends on her being like, I saved everybody, I guess, kind of, not really, and then like she like flies away, and then like her kids are fucking. I mean, like it just makes no sense. Like it doesn't make any sense, this show sometimes. It's like, why are you writing it like this? Like this guy Matt Shakaman, whatever his name is, who like directed the show and like kind of created the idea for it, sort of, not really. He is very talented. I watched him in an interview, and he talks about like the way he talks about his show is like what I wanted the show to be. But I feel like like Kevin Feige or whatever, like whoever is behind this, is like we need to kind of tone it down and just focus more on like, I don't know, like just a more dumbed down version of what the show would have actually should, or what it should actually look like.
Right. Well, see,
And
because
and the whole White Vision thing is like, where the fuck is Vision now?
that was
Where's
so stupid, bro. They should have just made
like
it Ultron and had them fight Ultron
that's
again.
what I'm saying.
Because now there's another fucking Vision out there somewhere who's has the memories of actual Vision. So Vision's still alive, essentially.
I
And no,
guess
and he just takes off. He's just like, oh, I'm Vision now. Pff, see you later, and he fucking nobody ever sees him again.
it's like Hulk in Age of Ultron. It's like, where's he going, man?
God, like he just fought. Well, I mean,
We didn't know where he was going until he was barely
well,
even addressed.
what?
They address him in Civil War. They're like, if I misplaced a couple megaton nukes, I'd be worried too, Cap, or whatever he says. Thunderbolt Ross, whatever his
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Is his name Thunderbolt Ross?
yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Well, his name's like Thaddeus or something stupid,
I was
but
about to say like who?
his
I'm
nickname
like,
is
are
Thunderbolt.
his parents on crack? Anyways, Th-
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt Ross. Are you? Is this your gamer tag? Like, anyways,
Don't do drugs, kids.
anyways. I'm watching the show and I'm like, you're pulling your punches. Like we
Yeah.
can't keep doing this in the MCU where we're like, and I'm sick of everyone like, oh, it's so bold. Like it's so bold this show. Like it did something different. I'm like, I
The
mean,
concept
yeah,
of the show, sure, but like I feel like okay, they shouldn't. This whole White Vision thing is
yeah,
fucking stupid.
yeah.
Because now the more I've sat on it now, the more I've thought about it, the fucking stupider it is. Because
I love the conversation they have though in the library though. I just want
I
to say
did like that. That was kind of
I
cool.
love
But imagine if it was Ultron.
what is beef if not cow persevering? What
But
is
you know
beef
what?
if not
But now because I do like the scene at the end when like her and Vision are tucking the kids in and they're like saying goodbye to them.
that's a top 10 MCU scene in my opinion.
I do like that scene a lot. And then
Maybe top five.
and then with her and Vision right
I
after that,
I almost cried.
I almost did too.
Like
But there's
I was
another Vision out there, so it means nothing. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's so dumb because now when she sees this White Vision, whenever he's gonna come back, it's
right.
gonna be actual Vision because he has the same. Like you know what I mean? It's
It's not gonna probably be. I don't know if he's not as human though. He's just like a robot, and like that's kind of
yeah.
it.
I
Like
mean,
the
I
soul.
guess, but
I thought the Soul Stone kind of. I would have rather just it end off with like he dies in the hex. You know what I mean? Like I would have
you
rather
should
had
have
that. And like
because it.
are you gonna kill Vision again? Like is this what we're
Well,
gonna do again?
that's what I mean because like he's already died 3 fucking times, and now we got another one out there still, and he's probably
Yeah.
gonna die too. So it's like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
Like it's just it's so dumb. Like for her character, for her to lose Vision
I
and the
mean,
kids
if
in the hex, that's how it should have
ended.
went, and that's
Yeah.
how it should have ended.
Right.
And there should have been no fucking White Vision. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because if there was no White Vision and that's how the show ends, that's
Right.
fucking. It sucks so bad for her character
Right.
because she just lost her entire family
Right.
again. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And if they don't really explore Wanda more and like the actual dark side of it and like the good story, like the actual interesting story side of Wanda in Doctor Strange 2 or whatever she's in, I'm gonna be really upset. Like I'm gonna be super disappointed with them because they did this in Civil War kind of too, and like they didn't really pull their punches on it because I feel like they did land it pretty well. But there is that like with Tony's grief and his parents where they kind of tease more in Civil War with like the barf scene and all that stuff, and it's like they could have went a little bit further with it. You know what I mean? With it instead of just him being like, "I want to protect the world" all the time. Like they could have also just talked about just replace one scene with that, talk about his grief with his parents and stuff like that more, and then so that scene, imagine that scene hitting even harder. When he sees
Well,
Captain America, you know what I mean? Like that, Marvel tends to do this thing where it's like we have the MCU to worry about, so let's not focus on the characters right now. Let's not really like the characters can come on later and they can deal with their
yeah,
stuff later.
I mean, I get it, but at the same
It's
time,
not it's not as bad as
With Iron Man, that's been a common thing through all of his movies was like his dad and like his fucking legacy and all that other
right.
shit. But I feel like in Civil War, it's almost equally his movie as it is Captain America's. You know what I mean?
I
It's
agree.
it's it's like it's half Iron Man 4, half Captain America 3.
I would say it's like 50, it's like 60-40 cap.
Yeah,
I'd say because
because
the
because
Bucky
they
part is
give,
huge and
yeah, obviously that's like the whole plot of the movie is just
right.
surrounding Bucky, but
They give Iron
um
Man a lot to do.
yeah, like
Yeah,
considering it's not his movie, like he has a
it's
lot of stuff in that movie that is
right,
really good.
right. That's which is why I
Like,
think it's so amazing that movie.
and I love that scene with that fucking kid's mom when she fucking gives him the picture of the kid,
Right. Yeah.
and like that's a really good scene because like he kind of realizes,
And Civil War works even greater because and then Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like I know we're getting off topic now, but like it's Civil War works really well, and then Infinity War works better because of Civil War.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Well,
honest,
Civil War is probably, I think I said this before, but Civil War is the most important movie in the MCU.
it's Age of Ultron gives it the run for it money. It gives it a run for its money though in terms of importance. It plants so many fucking seeds. Like it's not even funny.
Yeah,
Like Tony's world protection seed. Uh, Wanda. Fucking. What else? What else we got? Ultron possibly. That's another thing. Thanos and like greater threats. What else is it plant? It's got something else. It's got something. Black Widow. Like more storyline for her. Like it and
Thor Ragnarok,
Thor Ragnarok. Like it's literally like it just
Thor's vision.
right. Yeah, exactly. Like it literally plants like a Black Widow's like death in Endgame is like we see why she probably like we if there isn't the stuff with her in Age of Ultron, that death in Endgame means nothing to me. Means nothing to me.
It still doesn't really for me. Like I didn't feel it as much as I probably should have. I probably said this on our
Yeah,
actual episode.
because we saw it a year ago. That's why
Yeah,
with
like
Gamora. That's why we didn't feel it because it's literally Gamora's death scene, but with Black Widow.
I'm just like fucking like
Also, hold on before we finish the WandaVision review. Uh, there's a deleted scene in Endgame where Hawkeye and Black Widow are on Vormir, and instead of it being just like, who's gonna die first, me or you? Thanos comes and attacks them with the
yeah.
ship, and I forget what happens exactly, but it basically ends up being like a fight scene,
Mhm.
and then I forget exactly what happens to be honest. I'm not sure if who ends up dying and
Honestly, probably would have been better than what we got. Not gonna lie.
it would have been. I remember watching it. I wish I watched it for the fucking podcast, but I actually planned to, but then I had 2 hours of sleep extra, so I didn't get to do that. But it's just I remember watching it a long time ago when it got leaked,
Yeah,
and just being like, this is great. It's a great scene. It works better because I feel like it had to be different, more different than the Thanos scene,
yeah.
the Thanos and Gamora scene, which is a great scene.
Instead, yeah. I mean, like it's a
Actually,
little bit different in the sense that they're
it's actually
fighting for it.
it's a better scene actually than the Black Widow one.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I never really thought about that how much
100%.
yeah, because Thanos is like
When he fucking throws Gamora off that cliff, you're like, oh fuck. Like,
he's that one tier kind of guy.
yeah.
He sheds the one tear and then he just goes yeet, and she
It's like,
wants to kill him. She almost kills herself and she doesn't do it, and they're like fuck.
yeah. So that scene works too because it's like she's saying what the audience is thinking. She's like, oh, like you asked the universe for a prize and it told you no, and we're like, yeah, like he can't kill her because he doesn't actually love her, and then oh, jokes, he actually does. Then he
Right,
fucking throws her off the cliff,
right.
and we're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Imagine if someone brought this up. Imagine if because like if Scarlet Witch kills herself, like she just hops off, doesn't let go of like Clint's hand. If she just runs off, will it work the same? Because she didn't actually like get sacrificed. She just sacrificed herself.
I think it still would have worked probably.
Do you think so? I don't know if it works. I think
It's because he's still like the thing is like what did
she
Red Skull
she
say,
tries
like,
to she tries to well actually sorry hold on if Hawkeye does that Hawkeye tries to blow her up first of all just if Hawkeye knocks her out and then does it himself does she get the Soul Stone? I might think about it,
If
Mikey.
what'd you say? If Hawkeye,
If Hawkeye, when he arrow explodey thingy, right, and she like goes to the side and
yeah,
is injured, and he just fucking just swan dives off the cliff.
yeah, she gets it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because they're still losing the other person. They don't necessarily have to push them off. Thanos only did that to Gamora because he had to. She wasn't going to go jump off the cliff voluntarily.
That's what I'm saying. Is it really that much? Is it really a sacrifice? If okay, fine. Okay, maybe I think it still
Well,
works too.
he only says a soul for a soul. It doesn't necessarily mean
A
you have to
soul
push the
for
other
a
person off.
soul. Jack Nicholson is every character in that. Okay, we're not doing that again.
Also, Ross Marquand, who was
The voice of
impersonating Hugo Weaving, which was
yeah,
really cool.
it was good.
That
Looked
guy's a
good.
fucking
Sounded good. Yeah.
that guy's a great impressionist. He's actually a good actor too. He's good on The Walking Dead.
A soul for a soul.
One thing I was gonna say too, just quickly on Endgame was imagine being Catherine Langford and being cast as Morgan Stark and then being cut from the movie and never seen again.
You know what she is? She is like maybe the most important daughter. She would have been the most important daughter in any movie since Mary Corleone. Like she would have been the most important. Like she would have been like the Mary Corleone of and now she kind of is because she's kind of a joke now because she didn't actually end up in the movie. So now she's more like the Sophia Coppola of daughters.
But now it's like she's not going to be in anything because
There's no room for Morgan Stark. I
no,
think in the
and
MC I mean,
it doesn't make sense because she's like 20 something.
well, I think that's the
and
point.
She was 5 in Endgame.
Well, Gamora's a bait. We have Fordo Gamora who asks her. No, the reason why it makes sense, Mike, because let me explain it to you.
No, the scene made sense.
No, but why she's 20, it makes sense. Because
no, I get it. I get the scene. I'm saying
what the fuck are you complaining about?
No, but I'm saying for them to have casted her and not use her in the future
right.
is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah. I see what you're
saying. I
saying.
get the scene. I would have liked to have seen the scene in the movie.
Right. I thought you were saying the scene doesn't make any sense because she's 20.
No. It doesn't make any sense that they would have cast her, cut her from the movie, and now they're not going to use her in anything. So that doesn't make any sense to me.
I think the scene should be in there still. I don't know why they cut it. I don't know.
Well, they tested it with audiences, and they said they didn't like it, so they cut it.
The fuck do audiences know?
Nothing, apparently, because that would have been a great scene.
It's a great scene, man.
I know.
Like, why would they cut it?
It's better than the fucking Thanos Gamora one, if you ask me. But...
Did it replace something though? Is that why? Did it replace the actual death scene? Like when he?
No, they were just gonna have it right before.
I don't see why that makes it worse.
It doesn't. It makes it way better, bro.
I don't get why.
Having that scene before he actually dies would have made it like it was already like really sad.
Yeah,
and I fucking cry my eyes out every single time.
Yeah,
that would have added to it,
bro. I was watching it, shamelessly on my bed, like in like a weird position. Like I had my laptop, like my knees up, laptop rested on it, looking like a fucking idiot, and I'm sitting there like this,
just fucking sobbing. Yeah.
Yep. It's like watching my childhood get shot in the fucking face.
Well, that's exactly what it is, right?
You're right. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
You can rest now, Tony. Oh God. I mean, I didn't actually. I forgot. When she tells him, "You can get some rest now." That was a callback to like the earlier in the movie when she says, I think she says like get some rest or whatever. Or...
No, because he says to her like right after he figures out time travel.
Right.
He said part of me wants to put it in a lockbox and throw it in the lake and then go to bed. And then she says, yeah, but will you be able to rest?
Right.
So that's why when she says that at the end of the movie,
I'm gonna cry right now.
Packs a fucking punch, bro. I'm telling you. God, and then Peter Parker too. It's brutal.
He says sorry again.
Brutal.
That scene in Infinity War is fuck WandaVision, I guess. That scene in Infinity War is improvised.
Yeah.
With when he dies, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He improvised that shit.
Crazy.
Mike, I'm gonna make. Okay, I was gonna talk to you about this before the pod, but fuck it, I'll just do it on the pod. I want to start doing video essays, as for the YouTube, and
Yeah,
I want to do one on why I think Tony Stark deserves or Robert Downey Jr. deserves an honor like a special honorary Oscar, whatever it is, for playing Tony Stark. I think he deserves one.
that's fair.
I think I don't like the idea though. Like we just can't. I think he's up there performance wise with like the greats with playing Tony Stark. I think he is. There is no other person ever in history that was actually like this, like a role and this actor are inseparable in terms
Yeah.
like I can't see another actor playing him
Bro,
ever.
the other day, I was talking to my brother and I was talking about Robert Downey Jr. and I literally said Tony Stark by accident.
It's
Like, you know what I
I
mean? Like,
and also he is such an amazing actor in so many other things too.
he is.
And I mean,
He doesn't get nearly enough. Like, I mean, he gets the fucking
he's
respect from the
he
fans, but
yeah, he's popular. Like I mean,
yeah, I
as
mean,
Tony
like,
Stark, but
no doubt amongst fans. Obviously, we know how great he is because we've seen him in the movies. But especially with like the Academy and like you know what I mean. He deserves
right.
way more than.
It
I
sucks.
wish his first movie after Endgame wasn't fucking Doolittle, but you know whatever.
God.
That's
You know what the funny thing was? I don't think they actually wanted it to be bad. I thought they were just trying to like make a like you know like studios like just make crap just to make money, like actually make a bad movie. They just want to make a movie. They didn't give a fuck about writing it. They just make a movie.
yep.
I
That's
thought
one of
they were
them.
doing that. They weren't. They tried. They actually tried. That's sad. How embarrassing that is. They actually tried to make a good do and they fucking flopped. That's
You know
so
what's
funny.
funny? You know what's funny? They already remade Doctor Doolittle, and it came out in 1998, and
Well,
the third one came out in 2006. Well, that wasn't with Eddie Murphy
what
though.
wasn't there
Doctor Doolittle 2 came out in 2001. So
wasn't there one before Eddie Murphy though? I swear there
probably,
was. That was like a child. That was like a fucking thing before Doctor Eddie Murphy.
probably.
Uh,
Yeah,
I don't.
1967.
Yeah, I was
You're
about
right.
to say. So it's been remade before. I think that excludes the remake bullshit thing. I think you can remake it and make it good because it's good for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I might guess.
If I'm a kid, I'm like, oh, Tony Stark, Doolittle, yeah, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like if I'm a kid,
Yeah,
Mike, you're 22, so I mean, you're not gonna be like, we're gonna be like, why the fuck are they making this?
yeah.
Like if I'm a 6 year old, I'm like, yeah, this rocks. Like,
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I
because you
mean?
don't know fucking anything when you're 6. But
Exactly. It wasn't made for fucking 22-year-olds, Mike.
yeah, well,
Anyways, WandaVision. It was cool, I guess.
yeah. Overall, I
That's
feel
it.
like there were parts of the last episode that I really liked, like her choking out the fucking people and like them swarming her in the street. I thought that was really cool.
All right.
But at the same time, it also falls into the MCU third act giant CGI fight that means nothing. So
What is beef if not cow preserving? I can't stop saying that.
I do like Paul Bettany though on that
Paul
show.
Bettany rips, man. And I'm gonna say this again. All the romantic scenes, like the flashback one that we have in episode 8,
Incredible.
top a
I
thousand.
loved that scene from like the Civil War kind of era. Like
Yeah, that
I
was great.
loved that scene.
Phenomenal. And then
Fuck.
the scene at the end, I mean, I almost started crying with that scene with Vision again. That shit was noise. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like Kevin Smith where I just cry every single time I see a movie. I watch Fat Man on Batman. I watch it all the time. Or Fat Man Beyond, whatever it is. I watch it all the time.
Mhm.
He fucking every single time he watches a movie, he cries. Every single time. Like I get it, like Endgame, you cried, and then like Far From Home. I watched Far From Home and I cried because it's like Mysterio's in it, and then I watched WandaVision and I cried because it was I cried watching it 3 times. Like
Well, Spider-Man: Far From Home, that one scene kind of gets me where he's talking to Happy on the plane. That was actually a really good scene. But God, I
yeah,
wouldn't cry because Mysterio's in it. You fucking clown! Like, what are
it's
you
like
doing?
I cry. I hate when people like diss
Oh
him
my
because
God, it's Mysterio.
he likes
No.
it. Like everything he watches, he likes, which is fine. But he won't talk about anything that he doesn't like. But he doesn't ever not like anything that we like. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
every Superman movie that comes out, he just like fucking loves. Like he just doesn't talk shit about
Yeah.
any of them.
Right.
Which is I don't like being that person, but it's like it's just slightly annoying because it's like, hey man, You have to like you can't just like not like any of them, right? Like there's got to be one you're like I don't like the filmmaking, like you know what I mean? Like he always I don't know. Anyways, I think he just tries to get it. He just
That's hey, that's a good segue to Captain Marvel.
right. Okay, let's talk about Captain. Yeah, let's talk about Captain Marvel real
Speaking of
quick.
comic book movies nobody likes.
All right, so let's. I'm so sorry for Brie Larson that I'm just kidding. I'm not sorry for her at all. But like, she's a great actress, and then this
She
happens, and
is.
I'm like, hey man, did you do like that? You just did that, right? Like you did that. Like you just
Yeah,
did that movie, right?
right. But okay, see,
I
this
don't
is
get
the
it.
thing. Okay, this is the thing.
What's the thing, Mike?
I don't like her in this movie, but it's not because I'm not like a fucking misogynist or like anything like that.
Right.
She's just bad in the movie. Like some of her lines are like you kind of chuckle, but then like when she's trying to be funny, you're like, ew,
I think it's
you're
because
fucking cringeworthy.
yeah, I kind of I the thing about her being funny is like obviously like people can be funny just to be funny, but I feel like in like the MCU like there's no one really who's like her. You know what I mean? Like who does like well there is and it's Tony Stark. And I think she's trying to like they're trying to write her as this like Tony Stark character who's like this really sassy
Yeah,
and like has but she's like
but
really but like why though like Tony
the thing
Stark's
is,
sassy because he's like he's a billionaire playboy
because
asshole.
yeah, because he's a fucking arrogant piece of shit.
That's
But
part of his character. But hers just like she's just like sassy because she's hashtag woman boss. Like I don't get it.
I have powers. I'm funny too. Like no, stupid. Like shut the fuck up. But
Yeah.
most of the characters in the MCU are naturally funny people.
Right.
Like Chris Evans, Paul Rudd, who's hilarious in real life, by the way.
Right. Well, yeah, we all know that.
But when they make jokes like that,
Right.
like fucking Don Cheadle's funny, Bradley Cooper's funny. Like you know what I mean?
They're all funny. Yeah.
It doesn't feel forced, but with her, it's fucking forced as shit. You ever watch the press junket with her for Avengers Endgame?
I don't want to talk about that, Mike.
Yeah,
I
she's an
don't.
asshole.
I mean, I think they were. I think they were just. I think it was I think it was a bit
Doubt it.
because it's odd that the two characters, like the two actors that are kind of taking the piss with her, like they're kind of whatever, like talking shit, like you know, like when that one press junket where like she's elbowing Don Cheadle and Don Cheadle's like, "Don't fucking touch me." Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's the same two characters in Endgame who are like
yeah.
they
He
don't
kind of takes shots at her
in
in
Endgame.
Endgame.
Don Cheadle's like, "Who the fuck are you? Who do you think you are?" And then
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "I'm Captain Marvel." Duh. And then like Thor's like, "I like this one." You know what I mean? Like those are the two characters that give her some grief in Endgame. So I think
I guess.
but then her and Endgame, I don't know. It's
Hey, you know
weird.
what? Let me say something though. Thank fuck for Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn in that movie, because
Oh yeah.
otherwise that movie be total garbage.
Yeah, that's true. They
Sam Jackson fucking saves every movie he's in.
I
He's
like the scrolls
fucking.
in Captain Marvel a lot, but I don't get
I
why
do
they're on
too.
that ship. I don't know why they're there. Why they're on the ship and like they're being captured. I don't get it.
Because Marvel was, I forget, was she like trying to save them or something?
Was she?
Yeah, but
I don't.
she was also hiding the Tesseract on that ship too,
Why?
because she was like researching it for something, which actually ties to like Avengers, because that whole Project Pegasus thing that they talk about is Avengers.
Oh, it is.
And yeah, I remember the first. It's like I think it's the first scene in Avengers
Yeah, when they're
when Loki
that's
shows up at
Pegasus.
the yeah.
Oh wow, nice, nice. Also, I guess Captain Marvel is the reason why the Avengers are the Avengers. At the end of
That's so forced. It's
that,
so forced. I fucking hate it. I hate it.
it's not
I
great.
hate
It's
it.
not great.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Imagine Sam Jackson, imagine Nick Fury calling them the Protectors instead of the Avengers. Ah, no thanks.
Yeah, no thanks, man. Fuck.
The Protectors. Fuck off.
Right?
Stupid.
It is pretty stupid. It is. It does not work like that. It just didn't work. I, I, I don't. It's. I don't know what to feel about Captain Marvel. Like, it looks pretty decent. Um,
I think it
I
looks good
I think
for the most
they
part.
should just rename the movie Mary Sue and the Monster Cat. Like there's just no other name for the movie that honestly fits than just Mary Sue and the Monster Cat.
Oh, also Jude Law is actually pretty good in this movie.
He's great in everything. He's just great in
He's a good
everything.
actor.
We don't have to talk about it. It's Jude Law. We know. We know it's Jude Law. It's Jude Law.
He's good.
If
He's a great actor.
he's in I think I mentioned it before the new Pope and the young Pope, those two shows.
Yeah.
They're the same show but two different seasons. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Um phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. There's nothing it's phenomenal. Just great. Just great. Just amazing. It's Jude Law. I don't know how to explain it. It's great. Anyways, um so this fucking movie, man. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like Oliver, like this whole like control your emotions thing. There's no consequences in that. Like that whole thing where it's like control your emotions, Bree, or not Bree. Veers, control them, because then you're gonna die.
Veers.
Like you're gonna kill everybody. Like you're gonna destroy everything if you don't control your emotions. And she like, and then she doesn't control them, and then she just wins.
Bro, that one scene, I never cringed harder in my life when she goes, when she's fucking what's her name? Fucking Marvell, the actress, I forget what her name is.
Who cares?
Irrelevant.
Right.
She has 7 minutes of screen time in the entire movie, and it's over 2 hours long. But it's fine.
Right.
And she like calls her like Veers or whatever, and then fucking Brie Larson's fucking like, my name's Carol. Oh no.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and I'm like,
You were reborn.
should have just said Karen.
Veers.
Like,
Just like Karen.
oh,
My name is Karen.
this is bad. My name is Carol.
My name
Ah,
is Carol.
Stop. No. Ugh.
That's pretty gross. Oh my
Never
god.
cringed harder in my entire life.
Oh my god. I'm gonna try something with the YouTube video that I'm gonna change the format. I'm gonna put in the top right corner of the video, like actual video of like what we're talking about. So I'm gonna try and get that scene in there.
You should.
I'm
My
gonna
name
try.
is
I'm gonna try that out.
Carol.
So yeah, the YouTube video is gonna be late, guys. By the way, so I'm gonna start playing around with that idea. But I mean I don't know what to talk about the movie. I mean like there's some good scenes like with Nick Fury and Captain Marvel, and I think the flashbacks are okay. I don't mind the flashbacks. People hate it. I don't mind them. I don't think they're horrible. But I have one nitpick though. When she's in the race car thingy, in like the bumper car, whatever it is, and she flips over 13 times and then doesn't and like explodes, like, and she survives. She should have been paralyzed from the waist down.
Bro, the fucking dialogue in those flashback scenes are so cringeworthy too.
You know what it's
Like,
called, the
fuck
cockpit.
me. Yeah, like what? What? Why?
You know what it's called, the cockpit, Mike.
Oh, it's
There's
fucking,
cocks in the pit.
like, oh.
Which I don't think it's true, but that's not true. I think it's called something else. I think there's
No,
another
it's
word called
just
the
a
cockpit.
fucking.
It's just like a stupid joke.
It's
And it
just
doesn't
a
make any sense.
stupid fucking joke.
Also, okay, so
I can't believe they actually put that in a fucking Marvel movie. By the way,
right.
that's kind of fucked up as a joke for a Marvel movie. But
Well, I don't think so. I think they were trying to hammer home like this really weird plot that she's a woman, so she has to like be different.
oh, that's the whole fucking point of this movie being made. Is that
Like I don't like I don't get it, Mike. I hate it because I wanted to like it so bad. I was like, I don't know if you remember this. I mean, we probably weren't talking as much then like about this type of stuff, but like Matt probably would remember me saying like I was so down for Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Like I was champion.
so? Was I?
Like I was like, I don't care that it's not the other blonde actress that we love, and she's gonna play Sue in the Fantastic Four.
Jessica Alba?
No, Mike, John Krasinski's wife,
Oh, Emily Blunt. Yeah.
Emily Blunt.
Oh, who's gonna play her? Oh, I thought you said who played her.
Oh no. No. Everyone thought it should have been her. which would have been better, obviously. I think as just and
Sh-
because we think she's badass. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Brie Larson though, like it should have worked because she's. Did she win an Oscar
Does she
for Room?
does she
Or was
win an
she
Oscar?
up for one?
She won.
Okay, so she's an Academy Award winning
Yeah,
actress.
I think she
She
won.
looks the part.
Right,
She looks like a Captain Marvel.
right,
It should have worked,
right,
but it didn't,
right,
and it kind of sucks.
right.
But I mean,
It does suck quite a bit. However, Mike,
it's fine for like an MCU. It's not like
I want to bring this up though. Um, she does have good stuff in the movie, like she does. I think again, like
yeah,
the flashbacks, her and the flashbacks are okay.
her in the
I
flashbacks is fine. I didn't
I
like when she's watching them.
I think
You know, like
her,
at the end.
yeah, I think her and Rambo. I'm just gonna call her Rambo. It's just a sick name. Her and Rambo are
Marie
sick
Rambo,
in the
yeah.
movie.
I do like that
I
stuff.
I like the stuff with her. I like the stuff with Nick Fury and her. I like the stuff with I do like the scenes between her and Jude Law.
Yeah.
Um, I think they're pretty decent. I just think they don't. I think story wise, writing wise, they don't make any sense because all they do is talk about her emotions, her emotions, her emotions, but they have no actual consequences in the movie.
He goes, control your emotions. And she fucking knocks him 10 feet into the air.
10 feet. It was like 50 feet, man. He
Oh,
goes flying. It was literally. It was a late. He got lasered across into rocks. He should have died.
fucking stupid.
Like that's the problem. Is like I guess the point of the emotion thing is like she stops controlling her emotions
Mhm.
and then becomes this. She becomes God, essentially.
I like her like helmet thing. That fucking
I like her helmet thing. That was cool in the movie.
it was.
I guess. Yeah,
Then
it
she
was
got
kind of cool.
then she got a fucking stupid haircut in
Yeah,
Endgame. And I'm like,
when they CGI her, Mike.
yeah.
I did all my own stunts. I'm like, yeah, what? Like when you fell down off a rope? Like, okay,
Pretty much. Yeah, the rest of you CGI, don't give me that shit flying around in fucking outer space. You're funny. I did
yeah.
my own
Like,
stunts.
what stunts did you do? What stunts did you do? The action
Yeah.
scenes?
You're a fucking funny
What?
person.
Like when you did martial when you fought the CGI guys? What'd you do? I don't know. Like I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying like why are you Tom Cruise now? Oh, sorry. Why are you not Tom Cruise? My bad. Why are you better than Tom Cruise?
She certainly sounds like that, eh? Like she certainly sounds like that's what she's trying to say.
I didn't get it. And also, she also apparently, I think it's true. I saw it. It could be fake, but they casted a butt double for her. Did you hear about that, Mike? Don't look at me like that. Did you hear about that?
No.
There's a thing, and there's a casting call sheet. Apparently, it looks pretty legit. I mean,
God. Was
and
this Friends?
they cast it. What? I didn't get that joke.
Fuck it. You ever see Friends?
Yeah, but
Yeah, there's an episode where Joey gets cast as Al Pacino's butt double.
oh, I did. I actually remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only watched when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I watched all these like good shows, but like didn't actually like remember. Like Seinfeld, I watched when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time. Friends, South Park, all that stuff when I was a kid. Family Guy. I was like 7. It was weird. Anyways, um, yeah. So apparently they casted a butt double for her
That's so stupid.
because Marvel's like, we need to get some shots of her ass to sell the movie. Like to like guys like my uncle who like just like don't. He's not a fan of Wonder Woman because she's not as voluptuous as Linda Carter. You know what I mean?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So I get
Wonder Woman was too sexualized. Shut up.
it. Listen, you haven't seen the '80s then, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, or the
Her
comics,
fucking tits are out, literally.
or the comics. Yeah, like just the comics in general. Like Scarlet Witch in the comics. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, she's another one.
like she's
Tits literally out
No,
for
in the
everybody to see.
in the comics though.
Yeah. I
In
know.
the comics, like she wears a
That's what I'm talking
fucking
about.
she wears a swimsuit in the comics, a one-piece swimsuit in the
I
comics.
know. I know.
Like that's what she wears. She wears a leotard. Like it looks like she's like a ballerina without the tights. Like it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Um,
If they fucking showed that in the MCU, then the movie would be rated X because it's pornography.
and it's weird. It wouldn't work though. I like her suit in the end of
It was
the
cool.
finale. The
It was
WandaVision
really
was cool.
cool. I like it a lot.
We're just not on topic at all today. We just keep going at it.
We're just fucking bouncing off the
We're everywhere
walls.
today, man. God. Ah, Scarlet Witch, you know? Oh, Captain Marvel, which also in Endgame, to bring it back to Endgame, um, she comes in, right? Like we see in her movie that she's God. We see that she's God, that she's Mary Sue. It's the story is Mary Sue and the Monster Cat. That is Captain Marvel. Mary Sue and the Monster Cat, right? So also
Some shit CGI on that
can
fucking cat, eh?
we acknowledge the fact that maybe the biggest question in the MCU before Thanos is where did Nick Fury lose his eye? Like who we want to know how Nick Fury lost his eye. And in Captain Marvel, in Winter Soldier, he says never trust anyone and he lifts his eye up or whatever.
Yeah.
Um it was a goddamn monster cat.
A
It
fucking
wasn't
literally a
should
cat
have
scratches his eye out.
it shouldn't be so it should be a scroll, right? Right? It should be a scroll. Like a Phil Coulson scroll.
One thing, actually, the de aging on Coulson kind of looks like shit.
Yeah, it does look pretty bad on
He
Coulson.
looks like a wax figure. Like it looks good on Sam Jackson
Well, granted, Sam Jackson.
because they honestly just gave him hair because he looks the
That
exact
might be the
same.
greatest de aging I've seen. It looked flawless.
Especially in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it looked pretty decent on Tony Stark in Civil
it
War.
was pretty good.
They were still working at the kinks, and I feel like of that stuff.
It looked like shit on fucking Michael Douglas in Endgame though. It looked bad.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
He looks literally like a fucking wax figure. Like
Yeah,
it's so weird.
it wasn't the greatest. But
It's the same with fucking Coulson in this movie.
yeah, yeah, they're still working it out. I'm pretty sure, and it's pretty expensive as well, which is why they always can't do it great. It's really expensive. Like that's why it costed 150 million to make The Irishman, because they had to de-age Pacino and Pesci and De Niro for fucking God knows how long in the movie. 3 hours,
Like
you know,
yeah,
3.5 hours. God. I mean, they have to get multiple cameras from every single angle to get the shots right so they can
Yeah.
de-age them. I mean, fuck. Anyways, I mean, so Captain Marvel, what do you rate it out of 10? We're not rating shit. We're not rating the movie. We're not gonna rate it. It's a fine movie, and you know what?
It would probably be one of my lowest rated Marvel movies, right next to probably Thor: The Dark World.
It wanted to be Captain America: The First Avenger, but here's their
Right.
here's their biggest flaw with that. Here's their mistake. Captain America: The First Avenger is not a good movie. In my
It's
opinion,
decent.
it's fine.
It's not horrible.
I don't think it's that much better than this movie.
It is way better than this movie for sure.
Is it, Mike?
100%.
I don't think it's that much better.
It's a lot better than this movie.
Fine, but still, why don't you copy a different movie that's good? Like how Joker kind of copied Taxi Driver King of Comedy. Like they copied a good movie. You know what happened? They got an Oscar nom out of it for best pitch.
Yeah.
Best pitch, Mike.
Yeah.
And you know Captain Marvel? They copied a mediocre MCU movie. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? So
They're stupid.
I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, see, for me, it's
Lower. I enjoyed parts of it, Mike. I told you last time I did enjoy parts of it.
there's some parts of it that are pretty good. Like, see, okay, I'm gonna say a 5, like 5.5 maybe, but that's only because the rest of the actors in it are really good.
Also, the Come As You Are scene.
Stupid.
Mike,
Doesn't fit.
I'm a
Like,
huge
put it in a different part of the movie.
I'm a huge Nirvana fan. I love Nirvana. I listen to it way too much. I listen to Nirvana way too much. Way too much. It's bad. Anyways,
It doesn't fit with the scene. Literally, if they would have put that in any other scene in the movie, it would have been better.
it doesn't make any sense where it just starts playing and then it's like, ooh, nice touch, come as you are, or say, oh, the music.
This
dancing to
movie just beats the fuck out of you right over the head with the '90s references,
It doesn't.
bro.
That's the.
She lands in a fucking blockbuster, bro. Like we
I
get it.
don't.
It's
I don't.
1995.
I don't think it did enough. Actually, I feel like it's just. I feel like it doesn't feel like the '90s. It just feels like they're living in like a '90s simulation. Do you know what I mean? Like Stranger Things is like the '80s. That shit
Oh
looks like the
yeah,
'80s, dog. And then you have Sam
yeah, but that
Jackson,
show is actually good. So.
and then you just have like this. I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't. It just felt like it wanted to be the '90s, but obviously it wasn't. I don't
Well, and
know.
like the way they like the fucking like the way they dress, and it's like we get it, you know.
I don't know. It didn't work as well. But I was waiting for a Nirvana song, and then I forgot that it was in. I forgot that it was "Come as You Are" in that scene. I was pretty mad. It should have been like I don't know, like the blockbuster scene.
Literally any other scene, the fight scenes, even that would have been better.
As I want you to be, as friend, suck the bleach. Anyways, memory. But also Monica Rambeau setup is good.
I like the stuff with her,
Yeah.
with like that little kid scroll. I thought that was kind of cool.
That scene with the scrolls when Ben Mendelsohn sees him for the first time was really good.
I like that scene a
I thought
lot.
it was a good scene. Um, and yeah, Brie Larson in this movie just it. There's some good stuff. She has some good dramatic moments, but there really isn't that much for her.
I
It
saw a
sucks.
I saw a theory that I don't know if I said this already or not, but the scroll in the post credit scene of WandaVision that meets Monica, there's a theory that it's the same one that was like the little kid, like that she was sitting on the stairs with.
Hmm.
So I thought that'd be a kind of a neat.
Yeah. So what's the deal with that?
She's going back to space so she can be in Captain Marvel too. That's what's
Wait,
going
can
on.
I get this right? Cause I'm slightly confused about this. Is Nick was Nick Fury a scroll on Earth the whole time?
Not always.
When was it? When did it happen?
I think just in Spider Man. I think if he was a scroll the whole time, that'd be fucking stupid.
Yeah, because he has too many. He has too many emotions, too many good scenes. Yeah, like too
Like
many
he's
like
and like
personal scenes.
he's great in like Winter Soldier too, and like for him to no, but he must have been real in Winter Soldier because he
Yeah,
fucking
that's
like dies
exactly.
and then
Yeah,
he like comes back, so that must have been real. Because when scrolls
exactly.
get shot dead, they turn back into scrolls.
Right, exactly. So it's in between probably Endgame and Spider Man.
Yeah,
So whenever that happens, so it's supposed to it's well, it takes place pretty close after. It was like 4 weeks after Endgame.
yeah, something like
So
that.
it's pretty. So in between, probably like after Tony's funeral, I would assume that he just goes to space,
Yeah,
and then with Captain Marvel probably. You know what I mean? So
probably. He's on a ship full of scrolls, so
he's on vacation, which is pretty funny.
we'll have to wait and see for Captain Marvel 2, I guess.
You think they're gonna be bad guys, scrolls at all, or keep them good guys?
I don't know because they're doing the Secret Invasion show for Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't. That's gonna be interesting. I don't really want to think about it right now, though. It's too much to think about.
I think all they said really was that Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn were going to be in it. So
I was yeah.
that's the extent of my knowledge.
I would assume so. Yeah. I mean, what else do we got with what I was gonna bring up? Oh yeah. Now I kind of forget. I forget. Just forgot it. Had it and I forgot it. Whatever. Big deal. Who cares? Uh, Mike, I'm gonna speed through Whiplash. I don't want to talk about it too much. We should probably have our own
It's a
episode
great
for
movie.
Whiplash.
We
I
should
kind of want to do a full episode on it, but
we should
uh, it's a great movie. I watched it this week. It's
give us a
great.
brief intro,
It's great. It's
and we'll do an
great. I mean,
episode on it.
J.K. Simmons. I mean, like, not my tempo, Mike. One, Captain Marvel, not my tempo. All right. Uh, it's just great. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's short, it's sweet, it's bitter, it's strong, it's profound, it's loud, it's quiet. It's great. I don't know how to explain it. It's amazing. The acting's amazing. The writing's amazing. It's shot great.
Yeah,
Damien Chazelle's wonderful director. Miles Teller is a cock. Good actor though,
he's great in that movie.
but he's also a cocksucker.
He's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he really is.
But J.K. Simmons though,
Solid.
we love
Watch
J.K. Simmons.
anybody who can watch Whiplash. Just watch Whiplash, please. But we'll talk about it more, I think, in a future episode. But
Yeah, we'll do an episode on it.
I watched Scream. I want to do that later on as well at some point. So I love Scream. It's like I have
Great
a
movie.
it's probably my favorite one. It's like it's tied with Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
Those like classic like 80s slasher.
Like Scream came out in '96, and it was right. It was like a year after Wes Craven does New Nightmare, and New Nightmare is like this. It's like this meta Freddy Krueger movie, which
I liked that one a lot actually.
I haven't seen New Nightmare yet, and I've seen so much of it that I just haven't seen the movie. Like I'm gonna watch it eventually, but I just seen so much of it and on like YouTube, like just from like people talking about it.
Yeah.
Um,
It was one of those series that like the first one was good and then like they made 17 of them and then like they just got stupid.
I think the first one's great. I think the first one's phenomenal. I think it's a
Yeah,
slasher masterpiece. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
definitely.
And then the second one is not good. The third one's really interesting. I like the third one a lot. Dream Warriors is great. Dream Warriors has like it's that perfect blend of like Freddy Krueger being a comedic thing and then also being this like dark force.
Hmm.
It really blends it pretty as well as you're gonna get in the '80s. And then they do 4, 5, and then like whatever 6, and then 7, and then 8, and 9, and 10, and 11, and 12, and like it just keeps going on. And then eventually you get to New Nightmare,
Yeah.
and then New Nightmare's '95, I think,
They
'94.
they kind of ended that on a good note there because I
And
really like that movie.
Wes Craven finally gets Freddy back to his own, like fully his own, I think, and it's just great. And the actress who plays, I can't remember her name, but the main, I guess the Freddy, the Nightmare on Elm Street Scream Queen, basically. She's great in it. She's great. She's great in the whole series. But
Drawing a blank on what her name is. I got to figure it out.
I don't know why I can't remember what her name is. But
Heather
um,
Langenkamp.
yeah,
That's it.
her. Miss
She's
Lang.
old now. Shit.
She was getting older in the series. Like then and anyways, but Scream goes into that meta parody aspect, and I guess when you watch it as like so like when you're not like 8 years old, because that was
Hmm.
the first horror movie that I watched. I was like 8, and I didn't get it then, obviously, and then I watched it when I'm 17, and I'm like, oh, that's what he was going for. It wasn't just a slasher movie. Oh, it was like this meta commentary on like the '90s and slasher and the '80s and slasher and this like and scream queens and the rules of horror movies and why they work, why they don't work, what's great, what's not great about them. Like
Well, that's what's so great about Scream, right? It's like it's
it's not. It's very hard to do meta movies like that.
yeah,
And
and
Wes Craven did it. He did it twice actually, 2 in a row. And the act.
guy's
I
a
mean,
fucking genius,
also
man.
shout out to Nev Campbell,
Yeah,
good Canadian girl. You know what I mean? She's great. The guy who plays Billy, who's also in Riverdale, he's a great actor. He pulls off that psychopath really good. Um, Matthew
Matthew
Lillard,
Lillard. Yeah,
Matthew Lillard. There's a lot of great like comedic. Okay. This is the top, right? This is the top when it comes to acting. Here's Matthew Lillard, over the top, like just way over the top. Like here's the top, and then Matthew Lillard just
he's
goes,
he's very Jack Nicholson in this movie.
yeah. It's like if Jack Nicholson was a stoner kid in the '90s.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's just like my favorite. I think my favorite line is when he gets stabbed and he goes, "Oh, I'm feeling a woozy." It was just I was pissing myself in class when I was watching it. Everyone's like just kind of like not laughing that really that much,
Yeah,
and I'm just like I totally got what he was doing,
yeah,
and it was so funny. He's
yeah,
so funny in
definitely.
the movie, and then I forget the actor's name who plays the movie guy, the movie nerd. I'm so bad with names, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And like Courtney Cox and David
Pull it up.
Arquette, like it's just the
It's a great
movie's
cast.
it's
Both of them are back for
5.
the new one. Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately, spoiler alert, the movie guy dies in number 2, which 2 is also great, almost equally as great as the first one.
I do like number 2. I didn't like number 3.
3 is 4 is kind of fun. I
I
thought
like Scream 4 a lot, actually.
Scream 4 is fun. Mike, we might have to do a Scream episode, Mike.
We should.
I think we should. I love Scream so much. I love it more as I've gotten older. Like I think it's funny because last year when I was buying my posters,
Hmm.
I was over here. that I put up on my wall. Right there's Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yep.
and I kind of wish I got Scream
That's
instead.
cool. It's a cool poster.
I love Scream. It's those movies are like what like these are kind of like what mean the most to me over here. Kind of, sort of, not really. Uh, or some movies that example of something that mean the most to me. Um, and Scream, just as someone who like wants to get into film and like want and is like thought of writing stuff and like doesn't want to be too cliche, like doesn't want to and wants to be original. Like Wes Craven is like he's an idol. Like he's legitimately like I idolize Wes Craven as a filmmaker.
Mhm.
Like I want to be a Wes Craven where like you make like a few solid like really solid things
Yeah.
like become iconic, and you just have a bunch of garbage in the middle of it that like really wasn't your fault, and like you fought for your passion for decades and like just created a bunch of amazing stuff. And
Yeah.
I just that's what I want to be. I don't want to be Scorsese. I don't want to be like Tarantino or any of those guys who like just make hit after hit after hit after hit and like just make it look
Yeah.
critical. I want to be Wes Craven. Like I want my fans to love me because I made 3 good things and the rest were crap, but they still want to watch it. You know?
You know
But
what? You know what I don't understand?
tell me, Mike.
The plot of Scream 5. Also, it has two directors. Red
There's
flag already.
no, not a red flag, Mike. Not a red flag. Those 2 guys made a movie last year called Ready or Not.
I haven't seen that, but I wanted to.
Mike, watch it. These are the perfect guys to make Scream 5. There's no other directors now that I would want to make Scream. Not even Ari Aster. Trust me on that one, Mike. That these guys are perfect. There's no other guys who are perfect to make it. These guys like literally they basically made like a Scream type movie, like that this like a meta horror movie, and no one did it as good until these guys last year, in my opinion. That's just it with me. Like that's just it with that Ready or Not. Like it's great. It's kind of like Knives Out. If you like Knives Out and you like Scream, watch Ready or Not.
Right. Um, the
You look
thing is,
you look
these movies.
curious,
No, because well, yeah, because I want to see Ready or Not, but
right?
all the Scream movies have like the exact same plot. So,
Which is fine.
like Scream 5, this is what it says under Scream 5. It says a new installment of the Scream horror franchise will follow a woman returning to her hometown to try to find out who's been committing a series of vicious crimes.
Like
Literally, Scream 4. That's
right.
exactly what happened in Scream 4.
What if they almost redo like what if they retcon Scream 4? What if they did that? Did it again, but did it better? Scream 4 is fine. I'm not saying it's not, I don't think it's
Scream 4 was really good.
I didn't think it was really good. I just thought it was fun. I didn't think it was that great. I did enjoy it though.
Like for me, it probably goes like 1, 2, and then 4.
That's like everybody though.
But yeah, but that's only because like
3 is just
one,
that
one and
bad.
2 are class. So yeah,
Yeah, like it's hard to, but you can't. I don't know how you can say 4 is better than 1 or 2, or just 2.
No, it's not. No, it's not better than 1 or 2. But
Or like, how you could say I don't know how you could say it's worse than 3. 3 is just really not good. But Kevin Williamson is back to write, or he's producing this one. Kevin Williamson, he's producing it, which doesn't really mean much, but he's producing it.
it just says he has a writing credit because he created the characters. It said
Right. Wes Craven is obviously passed away, which is unfortunate. So it's gonna be tough, Mike. I trust these guys. I trust them. I can't help but trust these guys when it comes to Scream because it's like Ryan Reynolds directing a Deadpool movie if that ever happened. It's just like or writing it at least. It's like there's no other person to write it than him. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
but I mean,
that's probably not a good analogy, but you know what I mean. Like these guys are perfect for this type of movie.
I feel like I
There's
don't know.
no,
Maybe because I'm too attached to Wes Craven doing these movies
and
because he did all of
I
them.
think Blumhouse has a hand in this one. I think too. Do they have it, or is that just
I think
or it
so.
might just be Halloween that they have a hand in right now.
But I think this will be the first one that Wes Craven didn't do. So
Yeah, this is the first. So that could be it too. Maybe without Wes Craven, they can kind of break some new light. I don't want to.
hopefully, because I want this movie to be really good. I do.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, like for now at least. Like we still got to see a trailer. We still got to fucking see the actual movie. So
What's the release date? Is it 2022?
yeah,
Fuck man, I can't wait for it, man. I love Nev Campbell. I love Courtney Cox. She's back in it. David Arquette's great in Scream 1. He's back in it. If you haven't seen Scary Movie, Scary Movie is like
Hilarious.
they impersonate Scream so well in that like that whole movie. They impersonate the whole movie basically,
Yeah.
and I can't not watch Scream and think of like Officer Doofy or like
Yeah.
the Was Up scene or any of that stuff or
Anna Faris.
or the chastity belt.
Those
I,
movies are
I
so fucking funny.
yeah, that's just like the iron chastity belt.
Yeah, yeah.
I think is that in? I feel like that's in. Oh my god, damn it! I can't blank it on it again. The British comedies from like the 70s that were like medieval.
Oh, Monty Python?
Monty Python,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think they did that in Monty Python as well, and the Holy Grail. But anyways,
Probably.
that's just a me thing. Anyways,
That's like one of the
um,
greatest comedies of all time, apparently. So
I listen.
I'd never seen it, but
It's funny. It's kind of like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid when it comes to like Western comedies. It's like it's great. It holds up pretty well, but it's also made in the 70s. Like let's just take it easy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really hold up as well, but it holds up decent enough for that being in the 70s.
yeah.
So that's Scream. I give it. It's flawless. I'm not gonna rate it. It's flawless though almost. It's short too. Like it's like an hour and 40 something. Like it keeps it tight. Um,
I'd probably go up to like a 9.
it's in the nines for me.
Yeah.
I legitimately think it's I love it so much. Like it has also a good sentimental thing. I think I was Ghostface in like grade 6 or like 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
I feel like everybody was.
yeah, like I
I
love
was
it.
him a couple times, I think.
I fucking love it. I still my
They
mask.
they give you like one of those like bloody knives, so, like when you turn it over, the blood pours
I
out
didn't
of
get
it.
that one. I didn't get that one. Mom said no to that one.
There was people who had like the mask too, where like the mask fills up.
yeah, that
You
was
have like a little
sick.
pump.
I actually also did you ever see the Scream TV show, Mike?
Yeah, I did watch it actually.
I like the show a lot.
It's good. Yeah, I do too.
It's about as good as you're gonna get with a teen romance, teen
Yeah.
dramedy
I honestly
Scream.
didn't think anybody watched that. Like I literally felt like I was the only person that watched that.
Well, I had a few friends of mine who like kind of got into it and were like, ew. Actually, I think only one friend of mine who got into it with me, but
It's good because it's like not the movies. It's just like
no,
different characters.
well,
It's
you just apply the best parts of like the teen aspect of Scream.
yeah.
You apply that, and then you mix it with like a Riverdale CW type
Yeah, yeah,
teen,
exactly.
like that teen dramedy thing that they do.
Exactly.
And there's a name for it, I guess, but like, and they mix Scream with that, and then it works.
Yeah, exactly.
It works. It works pretty well, I'd say. I was thinking about rewatching it. I like it.
I might too actually, now that you said
And
that.
the acting is pretty solid in it too. It's not too CW ish, you know.
It's yeah, it's actually really good.
Let's get on to
It's got like
Well,
he's got like a different mask too, which is
yeah, which I like the
cool.
mask in
It's
it.
not the actual.
Well, it's not Scream. I don't think Scream's actually canon.
No,
in
it's
that.
not.
Yeah,
It's
so
not.
it's not even.
It's
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like a reboot.
Oh, what's
but-
it called? It's called Anthology. Anthology.
Yeah,
An
yeah, yeah.
Anthology series.
Yeah.
Mike, what did you watch this week? Also, let's go into what you watched.
I watched 42 with Chadwick Boseman.
God rest his soul.
Yes. This movie came out in 2013, I believe.
It did.
2012 or 2013.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Him and Harrison Ford in this. I didn't know Harrison Ford was in this movie literally until I started watching it.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit, that's Harrison Ford. And it looks like he's, it looks like he's in a fat suit, but he probably is. But
Right.
him and Chadwick Boseman have some fucking really great scenes in that movie.
Yeah, it's
Like
solid.
I feel as far as sports movies go, because they're not always the greatest. But I feel like this one has just another layer to it.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, like I feel like some of the writing is like a little bit on the nose, like with some of the racist shit.
It gets a little cliche and cheesy sometimes.
Yeah, like, but man, Chadwick Boseman he's really good in this movie.
It's just it's an acting class is what the movie is.
Yeah,
It's an acting class. It's great. It's a decent story.
to
Jackie
see
Robinson.
him,
We all like Jackie Robinson. Like he's cool. Obviously, like he's obviously an iconic figure in sports.
yeah,
It
he
works.
he has this one scene where he's in like the runway, and he just fucking loses it.
Right.
He's beating his bat against the fucking wall, and he's breaking it. And he's fucking freaking out because the fucking coach on the other team keeps calling him all kinds of fucking racist
Slurs.
shit, and he's like getting
Right.
in his head, right? Um, but fuck me, is he good in that movie?
He's great, and I remember
He's
watching when I was a lot younger, and I could tell when I was even younger, like that he was just
yeah,
a great
he's
movie.
and it kind of sucks for him because I feel like he didn't really get enough recognition until Black Panther came out.
He had a name.
Yeah,
He was Get On Up. He had 42. He had 12 Years a Slave.
was he in 12 Years a Slave?
I think he was.
I gotta watch that movie too. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's in that movie, right?
Uh, I know Chiwetel Ejiofor is.
Yeah, he's in that movie. Why do I think he's in that movie?
Let me see. Let me check.
He's
Actually,
had he had to have done more than 42 and Get On Up before Black Panther. Like he had a name for himself or something else.
he did.
12.
He was on Law and Order for an episode. He was in 42. He was in Draft Day. He was in Get On Up, and then Civil War, Black Panther, 21
Oh,
Bridges,
he's like not
Five
in it.
Bloods. He's not.
Oh wow, that's awkward. Anyways, um, yeah. What
But
else?
most of his good movies came out like within the last
Few
10
years.
years. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah. He's done a great job. I mean, and the thing about Black Panther, it's hasn't aged well. That movie with me hasn't aged well with
for,
me.
42 was his like first
Big
like
movie.
big movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his breakout role. Wow, wow, nice. Um, yeah, Black Panther hasn't aged well as a movie, but his performance as Black Panther is always, especially in Civil War,
Yeah. Yeah,
especially
no
in Civil
doubt.
War.
Like we know, obviously if you watch or you listen to the podcast, you know that what my feelings on Black Panther are, and I think it's really overrated. But there's no doubt about it that his performance in that movie and as the character is top
Solid,
notch. Yeah.
solid. Yeah,
But also watching him in Defy Bloods for as little as he is in it,
he's great in that.
he's
Solid.
great, and he's great in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom too, which is his last movie.
Won a Golden Globe for it. Didn't watch it yet. Gotta watch that. Gotta watch that.
Check it out because I'm curious as to your thoughts on it.
I
Because
gotta watch.
I think like as a music movie,
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
I gotta watch it. What else did you watch, Mike?
Um, I rewatched Spider-Man: Far From Home, but I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah. Do you have any problems with it? Like that we can give any big problems
Um,
with it? 'Cause I'm curious what you think about now that you've seen it a few more times.
I definitely I think this is like my fourth or fifth time watching it.
I've only
It's
watched it
just
twice.
it's just like
It's got some problems.
he's such an idiot in that movie. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man.
He really is.
Like I get he's a kid, but like you're a fucking idiot. You know?
He
Oh,
is.
Tony Stark left me these fucking sick glasses. Oh, I'm just gonna give them to somebody else who I just met 30 seconds ago.
Right.
You're fucking stupid, buddy. Um, I do like at the end of the movie that they like expose his identity, and now it's gonna set up the next one. So
But also we're getting in the next one possibly two more Peter Parkers. We're gonna get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire apparently. So that's pretty much been confirmed, right? That's pretty much what we're getting.
I mean, it hasn't been confirmed, but everybody's running with this rumor. You know what? I hope they're not in it now, so everybody's pissed off about it.
I'd be fine if they're not in it. I'd be fine either
So would
way.
I.
Like
So would I.
if it doesn't happen, it hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? So
Regardless of those people being in it, I would still be excited for Tom Holland's third Spider-Man movie anyway.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's either
Yeah.
we haven't gotten the multiverse Spider-Man thing yet, and like again, like we haven't gotten it yet. So it's not like I've been like disappointed by it not
Right.
happening before. So we're not gonna get it now. Won't get it in the future. Fine with
Yeah.
that.
Well,
And
the
then
thing is, because people are all like, "Oh, well, Doctor Strange is in it, so it's got to be." Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know.
but they're casting wise. I mean,
Well, they've casted Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina already.
but here's the thing. Is it going to be another situation with like Ralph Boner, whatever his name is?
Yeah. See, what I'm thinking is they're not those characters that they played. They're still going to play Doc Ock and Electro, but they're just going to be different versions of them. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're getting a second go at the character.
I don't even I
Is
don't
what
like
I
it though.
think.
We didn't even talk about the Ralph Boner thing that much in the WandaVision review, and
Stupid.
I think I'm not mad that he wasn't Quicksilver
That's the
in
most
X-Men.
MCU thing that happened in WandaVision.
Like it the only thing that frustrates me is that they had a good chance to write him in to write the mutants into WandaVision. It was working, Mike. I thought they could have wrote them in there instead of doing it in Doctor Strange, or doing it in Spider-Man 3, or doing it in the Eternals, or doing it in their own movie. Like they had a chance to write it in smooth. It would have been smooth as fuck, man. I think I don't know, like
People just fucking like
especially
it's so
with Marie with Monica Rambeau becoming proton
photon,
futon
yeah.
futon
Photon.
uh becomes a couch. Anyways, I don't know. It's frustrating,
It's just
it's making things it's making me more worried about how they're gonna introduce them, and how it's gonna play into Spider-Man 3, or it's gonna play into
I wouldn't even say that I'm
Strange.
worried about it because I obviously they haven't fucked up really in a long time. So, I trust where they're going with the story and whatever they're going to do because they just got the rights to these characters. They're not going to write them in immediately because they have their plans already and set for the next 5 years.
Well,
So people who think that we're going to see X-Men like the second they got the deal done are stupid.
no, I agree with you, but you can't tell me that wasn't a good way to write them into WandaVision. You can't tell me that.
It could have been, but it's not a primary plot point right now in the MCU, so they don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? They're not. They're
What is the
not.
primary plot point around the MCU, Mike?
Well, I mean, since Endgame, we don't really know yet, but they do. We don't because we haven't seen anything yet. WandaVision's the only thing we've seen since then.
I don't give a fuck if they know. What is it then? Like, what are we gonna see? Is it just be multiverse bullshit? I don't want to. I don't want to have multi.
Probably.
It better be, man. They better. This better be fucking good, bro.
I trust it, but like the thing is, I'm so annoyed with people fucking coming up with these elaborate theories and then shitting on something because it's not what they expected. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
that's
people,
true.
I've seen people be like, "Oh, Mephisto, he's gonna be the big villain in WandaVision," and then he wasn't, and then people are shitting on it because he
I
wasn't.
I barely gave Mephisto any time in my thought.
How does it make any sense? Why would they incorporate one of Marvel Comics' biggest villains of all time in a fucking mini series on Disney Plus? That makes
Right.
zero sense to me.
I agree.
And
I,
especially people who thought throughout the show, oh, he'll be in the next one, he'll be in the next one, and then he's just gonna be in the finale and they're gonna kill him off.
right.
That's stupid.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I was I said I thought Magneto was for sure gonna be in it. I wasn't mad about that though. I wasn't really mad about it because they didn't.
He doesn't have any place in that show. Like people are just saying that just to see the characters back, but it doesn't
I
make any sense.
In my head I thought it did. I thought there was Mike. I really thought there was a way to write them in.
What was Magneto gonna do against two witches and two androids? Absolutely
I'm
nothing.
not saying as a fight, Mike.
Yeah, but how else would he fit into the story?
He's Wanda's dad in the comics. This is where they.
Yeah, but he's not in the MCU.
Well, it could have been. Mike, I know what you're saying, but if he comes back in there is when they're saying, oh, Wanda, you had the powers before the Soul Stone, and then there's Photon, and then there's Pietro.
But
They
Monica got her powers from going in and out of that force field.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she didn't have powers before.
Everybody in the hex if you get powers from being in the hex, it has to do with related to being like the whole Wanda thing, and it's her hex.
Right.
That's what
But the implication was that she was born a witch. Was that she wasn't born a mutant.
How the fuck does that work, Mike?
It's the MCU. I don't know. Anything's fucking possible. The
You
same
see
way
what-
the
you see
same
what
the
I'm
same
saying?
way the same way Agatha Harkness got her shit.
Either way,
Born a witch.
Mike, it makes zero sense to be honest. Anyways, like if it doesn't make any sense to me that she's a witch, just randomly is a witch without the Soul Stone. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't give a fuck if she's born that way. That's what mutants are. In the end, that's what mutants are. They're born a way just because they're born that way. That's what mutants are in the X-Men, and it could have worked in the MCU. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
they were
saying.
born with some mutant gene
That's
or
what I'm
whatever.
saying. Like and so
They
is
could, but they could still say that about her somewhere down the road. They just haven't said it yet.
right.
You know what I mean? Like in the next fucking movie, they could be like, "Oh, she has this fucking gene where, like, like it doesn't have to be right to say. It doesn't mean she's not a mutant. She could be.
Right.
They just haven't explicitly said it yet.
I do think there is a way to write Magneto into the story, though.
There
I
is
don't.
now, but there wasn't in WandaVision. Like,
I,
I don't think it had anything to do with anything.
no, I think it could have worked now, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad that he wasn't in it because
Yeah,
it's not like it. I mean, it doesn't really like matter at this point. But
yeah.
like, I think he could have. I think it would have worked.
If at some point when they introduce mutants and they bring in the X-Men, sure, maybe have that as a plot point. But
Like
like
they
as of right now,
I mean,
that
Mike,
had
like,
absolutely nothing to
what
do
did
with
what did
WandaVision.
you think Pietro was before he was a fake?
I didn't know.
We
Nobody
thought
knew.
he was X. Well, we had a pretty decent idea. I mean, he's playing the same character basically, just the MCU version from it wasn't the X-Men. I mean, it was just I don't think anybody was like red herring. Red herring.
No,
We were
not
all
that
like
I saw, but
we were all like it's X-Men, bro. This is what they're gonna introduce them like it's gonna be some sort of multiverse bullshit that she's introducing right now. But then they made it Agatha all along, but then it wasn't. It was Wanda all along, and then it just made it more muddy. And then we're like, well, I guess nothing makes sense in this show.
so basically the only thing that was a smokescreen was them casting him because his character isn't
And,
Pietro Maximoff. Like he just looks like the one that was in the X-Men movies, so we would all think multiverse?
right, that's what I'm saying. Like but
Right. But then we
uh,
find out he has nothing to do with anything and they just did that for shits.
but that's what I'm saying. Like they were clearly teasing X-Men and multiverse in this show, and they're planting seeds for the finale to have some sort of thing like that. They're clearly doing that, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck what you
Well,
say,
they weren't
or
really
or
teasing it. They were just making us think that.
that's
Like
called
it's like
teasing it.
no, but they're not doing it. Like it's not like they're hinting at something that's
They were
gonna happen. Like
they were teasing it happening. There's like no, it's a red herring. It's not teasing because it didn't happen. I know what you're saying because it didn't happen. Obviously, it's not teasing, but they were setting it up, in my opinion. And then they're just like, it's not that actually. She's just born a witch, and then she's upset, and then she's insane, and then and now she's the villain. Like it's just like there's no. This show ends, doesn't actually end. Doesn't end. There's no actual ending to her. Like there's no actual character arc.
I knew that was gonna happen too. I think I said that on one of the podcast episodes. There's not gonna be any finality to the show.
Doesn't make it any better, in my
No,
opinion.
not at all. It doesn't at all.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like WandaVision was a good show because she got angry once. Like this is like there's fans who are crying because Mephisto didn't show up and it wasn't Quicksilver as White Vision and it wasn't Ultron as fucking Vision and like I mean of course I would have liked to see that, but I'm more mad that there was a good story here to set up the mutants, in my opinion, and they just threw all away because they wanted to make it all a red herring to like to play with the fans, and then like to make a much more boring story about Agatha wanting to be like it was like I did not care about anything in the show, honestly, unless it had to do with Wanda, grief, and the MCU becoming a bigger playing field. Now, that's honest. That's just
okay,
me.
but the thing is, going into this show thinking they were gonna set up mutants.
Isn't it that big of a stretch? I think it's not a stretch.
No, it's not. But that's not what the point of the show was. The point of the show was
Obviously
to
not.
focus on Wanda, and for people to be disappointed now that they didn't
But
like.
they barely even focused on anything that she actually any actual good story about her. Half of it was making jokes about a sitcom, which is fine, which is fine. There was some fun stuff there, but then you only really get anything good about Wanda until episode 8. Like literally, one to
Yeah,
seven. 1 to 7 is like they tease it. They just kind of tease it, and then there's nothing happening though. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. Just it's just, oh Pietro, you're my brother, but you're not. Wait, how do you know about like there's just like these weird things and then oh it's Agatha all along. That was the big thing. Episode that's Agatha all along. So then and then they basically they almost threw. I mean that was also a that was it wasn't Agatha all along. But when that happens, then I end up this was my thought. So everything of Wanda's grief that they were going to write about is just not a thing. Like this whole thing where she's grieving, then it makes it was not a thing, but then it ends up being the thing. That was just another red herring they put for us to. I don't know. Like I don't know. Even like the whole Agatha all along thing. That was just like it was a twist. I guess that's what that was the point of that. It was just to be a twist to have her be the villain. Like the show is so disjointed. I feel like, and it's all because they just were trying to do one thing. Not trying to, but they were teasing one thing, and then they set up a twist, and then at the end it's like, so she's like she is a villain, Scarlet Witch, right? Like she is a bad person. Like no, she has to suffer consequences for what she did, right? Like we're not just gonna let her off the hook as a character because we like her because she was grieving. Like that makes no sense. And
Well, see,
also,
that's the thing because we don't have the whole story yet. So, like, once we've seen Doctor Strange and like whatever happens after that, we'll probably have a better picture of it. But with
sure.
regards to this show, I don't know. I feel like fans ruin it as much as the studio does.
Then like you got to go one way with the show. You can't. You honestly, I don't think you can just keep going. They can't flip flop in terms of what they want to do with Wanda, and like and then just tease it for Doctor Strange. How about do it in her own show? You know what I mean? Like if like why is WandaVision have to be a stepping stone? Like every other goddamn movie in the MCU, like why does that have to be some sort of stepping stone for a character? Why can't they just do her character in WandaVision and then we see some sort of like I don't know. I guess we see the next chapter of Wanda, not start the next, not like finish the chapter in Doctor Strange. See an actual next chapter of Wanda in Doctor Strange. Like we see her become some sort of actual villain in WandaVision, and then we see it play out in Doctor Strange. Like why do we have to wait for Doctor Strange? Like why can't we tell an actual story? Like why do we have to like this? Mike, tell
There,
me how.
there was a rumor that there was a 10th episode of WandaVision originally
Also,
planned.
by the way, the finale was finished 2 weeks ago. By the way,
Yeah,
finished 2 weeks ago.
yeah, they were like editing and shooting as the show was coming out still.
Well, I don't think they were. I'm not sure if they were shooting, but I think they were editing though. They still haven't finished editing the show yet. I know that for sure.
Hmm.
It was kind of like The Last Dance.
Yeah.
They were editing, like they finished everything, but they were just editing the fun. Like they didn't finish the actual what they wanted it to look like until like a week before.
Well, because fucking WandaVision wasn't even supposed to come out until like May.
That was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Black Widow.
Yeah, and then
It
WandaVision and then Doctor Strange.
was supposed to be Black Widow. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then WandaVision.
Well, because yeah,
It
there's
was
I'm sure there's ties to Black Widow and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
that's why I think they've changed the actual course of the MCU because of COVID and the closures. I think so.
Well, probably because the way we were supposed to see things was not supposed to be in this order.
Right.
So now Spider-Man will be the next. Well, like other than fucking Black Widow and then Eternals, which I'm sure has nothing to do with anything. But Spider-Man is the next like major like
That comes out
MCU.
Christmas time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it comes out this December.
All right.
But we were supposed to have seen Doctor Strange already before Spider-Man 2. So now were they reworking the story? Because if there was some kind of connective tissue there, it's not going to make sense.
I I'm gonna stand by it, Mike. I think they were setting up mutants for WandaVision. I think they were setting up mutants in WandaVision, and it was gonna be it was part of her story. It wasn't like just some sort of like shoehorn the X-Men into WandaVision. I think it was part of her story because Wanda is a Wanda is a mutant in the comics, and I think because they already have the source material there, they're not shoehorning it. They're they're actually trying to plant some sort of Wanda is a mutant thing. And you're right. They might set it up in Doctor Strange, but I think they were actually trying to do that with WandaVision, and for some reason they just went the other way because Doctor Strange isn't coming out next, and it's like Spider Man's out next, and like I just feel like the show didn't actually have a real personality, like a real solid connected story. It just had this like shell of one, and it's full of all these weird things that keep it happen that don't happen, and then it's like, what were you trying to really do here? Like, it's do we are we really just gonna get like a sample of Wanda and WandaVision, and then the rest of it in Doctor Strange's movie? I don't. I just. I'm kind of. I'm just. I'm not always for that.
Well, I think the whole thing was because they're setting her up obviously to be a villain. So I feel like
We got
in
like,
in these Marvel movies, one common thread was that they always have somebody who's good and somebody who's bad, and they fight. I
right
feel like they probably thought that they couldn't have a series where Wanda becomes the villain and there's nobody to combat her.
at the end. She instead of having and the teaser that they gave us. Like I know you're saying like she might become like. What if she isn't the villain? Like what if she doesn't actually become a villain? Like we're just guessing right now. It's basically about as good as guessing about the fucking mutants. Because they were saying a bunch of other villains that are not Wanda, and are going to be Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that's the thing, Mike. Like that's why I'm saying, like, why does WandaVision have to be like some sort of teaser? Like, why can't it actually be? Do you want? I don't know. Maybe I'm off on this because like, it's the same thing with White Vision. Like, why are we not finishing anything in this goddamn story? And why are we just ignoring the fact that Wanda just fucking
Well,
outcapted all these people?
but see,
Like,
that's what I'm starting to get annoyed with the Marvel movies is because
I can't just keep letting it go because it's an MCU movie and it's an MCU
right,
property. I have to judge
right.
it as something that's actually, its
But
own.
that's also what I'm sick of too. Is I'm also sick of people saying, "Oh my god, it was so amazing" just because it was the MCU.
Like I can't sit here and act like it was just some sort of masterpiece because they had a
Like,
sitcom in it, and
right,
I
right,
was the one who's defending the idea of a sitcom
right.
parody thing as a show.
Like the show itself is fine. It's not an amazing show. It's not a bad show. It's
Right.
fine for what it is.
Right.
But I'm sick of the fuck. I'm starting to get really sick of every Marvel movie setting up the next one because, like you were saying before, they sacrifice like delving a little bit more into people's characters and doing like things that I'm sure would benefit
Characters and
us
story. Yeah.
emotionally, like
Yeah.
watching
Exactly.
the fucking show. Like, imagine if WandaVision was more of that scene from the last episode.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why give us it in 7, 8, and 9,
Or
or just 8
yeah,
and 9, and
right.
have it through? I mean, even if it's like, okay, but the thing is, like, is the payoff any better because we had a couple shots of like her grieving, like in the show in the 4 hours that we already had? Is it any better, really? Does it really serve it any better?
Well,
Or why that scene works is because the scene works because we know Wanda and Vision throughout the show and we know them. And I think it doesn't work as much because, or doesn't work as good. It could be better than it was.
well, yeah. Well, I'm like I see what you're saying in the sense that like we don't see her grieving as much, but I think the point of that is because her as a character, she doesn't want to deal with it. She's trying to mask it, and so I feel like on that level, I guess it works. But yeah, I'm with you. Though. I
Like
would have rather seen her dealing with it than masking it.
like why don't we get I like even in the Agatha All Along episode, like when she has like depression, like she can't get out of bed, and it's like it's a
Yeah,
joke in the show.
it's
And I'm like, you just fumbled. I said it on the episode that when we talked about it. Like, you just fumbled a completely good storyline for the sake of a fucking joke so we could be like, it could be a twist later on. Like,
mm,
you're kidding me. Like, is this actually like, oh my god. Like, it pisses me off because, and again, like, goes back to the mutant thing. Like, you were like, there's a story plot, there's this line, there's an actual planted seed that she's born a witch for the sake of her just being a witch. So we care about Agatha more. Like, why does it matter if she's born a witch? Like, she's perfectly fine being born with like just the soul stone. It makes her more powerful, I guess. Mike, is that what it is? Does it really make it more powerful, or can we just have the fact that she has a fucking Infinity Stone as her fucking soul, or as like her power source? Like, what? Like, do you know what I
they
mean?
what did they say? It's just magnified her abilities, right?
Yeah, didn't do anything for me. It just made me be like, oh, she's a mutant. That's what I thought she was doing. Oh, it's a mutant.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like she could still be a mutant. We just don't know yet.
I
Like you know what
know.
I'm saying?
I completely
Like
agree
she
with
she
that.
she very well could be, but we don't have the full scope of the story yet. So we can't say anything until we've seen everything. You know what I mean?
But we should have had some. We should have had a pretty full scope in WandaVision, and we
Yeah,
didn't.
I mean, we could have if that's what they wanted to do, but obviously they didn't want to do that. So
And
it
now
is what it is.
and now it's a and now the and the show suffered because of that, in my opinion. And
Well,
you know, I was afraid they were gonna do. I was afraid the shows were just gonna be these little stepping stones where they do a little character development here and there, or they tease a lot of big character development and then don't actually do anything with it because they're gonna do it in the movies. And guess what, Marvel? Theaters are gonna probably die, and you're gonna be the only people showing movies there. Probably Disney and Warner Brothers showing big tentpole movies in the future in the next couple of years. So I would have rather them done it now when we actually have something to watch instead of wait a year and a half to do it in someone else's movie.
well, and the
And then
thing is
and
too,
hold on,
they rushed it out.
yeah, clearly, and like, that's pretty clear that they rushed it. Like Doctor Strange now,
By
his
like
movie,
3 months. Like it's not like it was just like a week.
which is a lot of time for a movie to have editing in the editing room and stuff like that. Like that's a lot of time. And Doctor Strange's movie now, like, are we gonna get a worse character for Doctor Strange, like a lesser developed character of Doctor Strange, of Stephen Strange, because we're spending the whole entire movie talking about Wanda?
Well, no, I feel like if anything, Wanda's character is going to suffer from it because we know how the MCU treats its villains that aren't
I
Thanos
don't,
and Loki.
I don't know. I think it can go either way. I can go either way, really.
But for all we know, like I mean, the
They
movie's
can,
probably going to be 2.5 hours long, so there's going to be a lot to work with.
right. All right, we'll cap that there
But
because we're running on 2 hours now. What's that? What do we what's the thing we're gonna talk about in the news that we wanted? Oh, the Elizabeth
oh, Elizabeth Banks doing
yeah,
fucking, I don't even care.
cocaine bears. Oh, fuck it. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Fuck man, I really wish I had higher expectations for WandaVision, and they needed to land somewhere, and they didn't land there, and it didn't. And I still think not landing, like they could have landed there. They could have landed the way they've landed with the show, and it's still been good, but it wasn't.
I think this
And
whole
that's
show was kind of a stupid idea, to be honest with you, but
I. I don't think I think they had something really special here. Like they could have had it could have been like Age of Ultron, where like a better version of Age of Ultron, where like they set up something, they plant a lot of good seeds and like actual solid seeds, which wasn't really in Age of Ultron, but they attempted that. Actually, it suffers a lot of what Age of Ultron suffered from. Now that I think about it, and but they also have like a really good story because they have a TV show. They have time to do it, and they just spent so much time. Like I get the sitcoms was something they teased, but why couldn't have that been more of a twist? Like they had all these twists, right? Why couldn't it have been the twist of the show? Like the red herring is that it isn't going to be just one long sitcom, which it kind of was. Say what you want about like what they did in the last two episodes, but like most of the show is just them doing sitcom stuff, and then they, oh, one little teaser here and the helicopters from Sword. Oh, there's a beekeeper in the sewer. Like, you know what I mean? Like the show doesn't know what it actually wants to do.
it's
There's so many twists and there's so many like teasing this and teasing that.
it it
That
it
like what
feels
is
like it feels like they just treated it as setup, and I feel like they didn't put nearly as much.
it feels like the Ultron thing where like the director, the people behind it, like the actual creatives behind it wanted to make it more than just setup, but Disney just couldn't help shoehorning in random things that twist here and a twist there, and it's not this and it's this, but it's this, and oh, we're gonna have this or White Vision, like these random things that like actually don't really serve Wanda and are gonna serve her for like you know what I mean?
It's just annoying because then it's like I get the whole like casting Evan Peters and like whatever, but just don't do that next time. Like you know what I mean? Like
Why not cast Pietro? Like oh not
yeah,
not
why
Pietro,
not why not
the
have it
original
be
one.
Aaron Taylor Johnson? Yeah, like
Yeah,
or
wouldn't
just
it?
a random guy that looks like him. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Just cast a random guy,
And
give him fucking gray hair.
and imagine they give him like they give Aaron Taylor Johnson like he gets the Quicksilver in the show and like his brother,
I would have loved to have seen that.
and then he dies with Wanda again.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that.
And then you pack another punch of the emotional scene. Like done. I did it for you, Disney. There you go. You're welcome. Pay me now. Like
But now everybody's freaking out about mutants and oh, this is Quicksilver from the X-Men thing, and that see what they started,
this is what I'm this,
and
Mike, this is
now
what I'm saying.
and now everybody's pissed off because of
This
that.
is
Like
exactly
you
what
see
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
Like this
Yeah,
is well, this that's again. I agree with you because this is why I'm mad. Like you tease mutants. You plant seeds for mutants. I don't want to say they didn't because and I don't want to I don't care if they're gonna do another movie. I don't care. I want it. I'm here now, watching the show now. You got a show now. You got a story to tell right now. Not in a year and a half. You're telling a story right now. I don't give like the thing about like Thanos. Like Thanos, they tease Thanos for however many movies. Yeah, because they can't. Thanos' story has to happen at a certain point in time. Like that, it has to happen at a certain point in time. Because if it doesn't happen at a certain point in time, then it just makes no sense. And the buildup for it was like the 10 years of buildup. We don't need listen. We've seen X-Men before. We don't. We've seen like they're teasing all the Spider-Man universe, this that multiverse for Spider-Man. They're teasing all this crap. Fans, if fans saw it now with WandaVision, I think it's just as good in a year and a half later. Because you know what? It's not like Hugh Jackman shows up now. You know what I mean? Like Magneto showing up could be like if Magneto's only at the end of the show and she says like my daughter or something like that, and it's like then they have to. It's like when they go back in time in Endgame, and it's like confusing. Like they have to deal with seeing themselves again. Like, but
mm-hmm.
on a more like makes more sense than an actual story because they're. It's not like they know they know it's not them. This is another reality. It is them, but you know what I mean. Like they know that. Like they don't know that yet, so they have to figure it out in Doctor Strange. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like they set up like the Magneto being in this movie or in WandaVision. He comes in at the end. He goes, "My daughter, right? She's a mutant, but so is he from another universe." And they figure it out in Doctor Strange, and you still have the satisfying story. And but
Right.
the only thing though is like, what's Pietro? How does he end up there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how does he end up there and not know what he's doing? Do
Right.
they just figure it out in Doctor Strange? It still is annoying. It still is annoying either way, and that's the problem. And I think if they're gonna just do this annoying shit, why don't you just make it so the fans actually enjoy the fucking show instead of just being like, I didn't enjoy the show.
Well, and that's what I hope for, at least with like Loki and with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I just want them to be their own goddamn fucking show. You know what I mean? I
I don't
don't
know.
want fucking Falcon Winter Soldier to start fucking then connect to Black Widow and then I got to watch that movie and then it's going to set up something with somebody else.
Um,
Do your own fucking show. Loki
yeah,
might set something up like I don't know, but
I'm okay if Black Widow or if Falcon and Winter Soldier tease Black Widow as long as the story is okay.
yeah,
As
like
long
if
as
it
you know what
connects,
I
but
mean.
like
Like as long as the story's okay in the show, you know what I mean. Like as long as they can fit it into the show properly, we're fine with it.
which Falcon and Winter Soldier has like it has a good like foundation. Like, you know what I mean? They have like this whole thing where it's like you have to honor the legacy of the shield, and it's like they have such good potential here for with this show. And
Deja vu, if you ask me.
I'll be fucking pissed if it falls flat.
I will too. On that note, thanks guys for watching. This was a little bit more of a heated. I mean, the thing about it's on. I guess on like the final note, final note. WandaVision, is, what we're gonna expect now from the MCU, I think, and this is what we're left with. So we don't know where this goes from here with the MCU. We don't really know exactly, which is fine. Like that's not a big deal, but we have all these shows coming out. COVID affected the release dates. We have Black Widow still. We still have the Eternals. We still have Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2, which we should have had a long time ago, but is what it is. That should have been a third movie. It is what it is. You should have had a second movie before Captain Marvel got a solo movie. Anyways, Black Widow should have been up before Captain Marvel. That should have happened 10 years ago, but it didn't happen 10 years ago because we're stupid. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for just being here, man. We appreciate you. I do have a couple friends of mine who like come up to me and like say like, "Oh, the podcast is fun." Thanks. Yeah, you listen to the end. Thank you. Honestly, we really do appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at Michael Schools 98. Michael 2L's Calabrese on Instagram. The Mike Watch on Instagram, TikTok. Link in the description for Linktree and all the stuff that we have, Letterbox, whatever it is. Thank you for watching, listening. Bye now.